They were dead. And they were actually booing that play where they give the ball to David Montgomery. And by the way, YouTube, good morning to everybody on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you for staying patient with the audio. Believe we have audio now. So we were working on it. We got the crack staff working on it. Twitch, YouTube. The audio seems like it's good. People want us to start the show over. Hey, we'll just start from here. Niners lose 19-10. They're 0-1. 888-957-9570. We're going to take a ton of phone calls today because I want thoughts from all the Niner fans. I saw you guys on Twitter. I saw everybody. But I'm going to tell you right now, as I started the show, I feel really good about Trey Lance moving forward. I feel really good about him after rewatching the game. Feel really good. What I don't feel good about is the offensive line. What I don't feel good about is George Kittle being hurt. Yeah, what I don't feel good about is Deebo Samuel and his lack of separation when he runs his route.
What have I been telling you? What have I been telling you?
Deebo Samuel at this point is a running back.
Thank you.
Okay?
He's
a running back, which means I need more Ayuk in the passing game. 2 targets for Brandon Ayuk, actually 3. He got called for the phantom offensive pass interference.
That was a terrible call and a great throw by Trey.
Terrible call. Trey Lance throws a dart to the sideline. Ayuk, pass. And he heard Moose Johnson on the call saying, that's terrible. Well, that's terrible.
Well, Bonte, the other big thing coming out of this game, the Elijah Mitchell injury. Look, I like Elijah as a change of pace guy. I don't think he can be your every down back. Right. This team needs a dude. Like, you're going to talk about the run game. Oh, we can find guys. Jeff Wilson Jr. has no juice. He has no juice. And after he couldn't break a tackle and couldn't get loose yesterday when they were gashing him in the first half, credit the Bears for making an adjustment. How about you try somebody else? Can I see Jordan Mason? Can he get a touch? And this is a team. B, we're going to look back at this. I said this to Sam Lubman. I've said this to you. We're going to look back at this. The allocation of draft capital and money on the offensive line and the running back position, they're tied at the hip to me. You took McGlinchey, who looks like, to me, an average tackle at best, 10th overall in the draft. You took a guard, Banks, who looks more like Chilo Rashal, the Matador, than he does Larry Allen in his prime. That's for damn sure. He looks terrible. And then, again, TDP, you draft this kid in the 3rd round. He can't even suit up. Last year, you get Trey Sermon. You say, I love running backs. We're going to move up to get this guy in the 4th round. He's not even on this team. And then your guy goes down in Elijah Mitchell, who's a 2nd-round pick, and you got no running backs. You're a team that's supposed to run the ball down the throat, yet you have no O-line and you have no running backs. What the hell?
Well, the running back room, and I've been banging on the table. Mark Willard argues with me. A lot of people argue with me. Running backs, do you need a bell cow to win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay, I get all that. I need me a bell cow, a guy I can count on week in and week out to give me 20-plus carries, be a factor in the passing game. That's another thing. None of the running backs on the football team, even Elijah Mitchell, are factors in the passing game. I need a guy out of the backfield who could be a factor in the passing game. In today's NFL, you did put a lot of stress on this defense. And what the Bears did defensively, what they did, it was genius. They said, you know what? The 49ers offensive line is so bad. We're only going to rush 4 all day long.
And they got pressure.
All 4. And they got pressure.
Yeah.
We're going to rush 4 all day long. We're not going to blitz, and we're going to drop 7. So that's why when you saw Trey Lance holding on to the football, a lot of people were texting me, is anybody open? No, the Bears are 2 safeties deep.
Thank you.
And we're going to play everything underneath, and we're going to make this young man hold the ball. He's going to run, and we're going to pursue to the football. And that's what they did. Matt Eberflus, and somebody texted in this last week on the Comcast.
He's won 3 games against Shanahan.
Comcast business text line last week. Somebody texted, and they said, hey, Bonte and Shasky, remember the monsoon game last year at Levi Stadium? Matt Eberflus made all the adjustments in the second half, and he shut Shanahan down. And that thought went through my head as we entered the 4th quarter. That defense was flying around in Chicago yesterday. So, there's a lot to get to here. Trey Lance, what did you think of him? 888-957-9570. I thought the defense, they really laid an egg in the second half. The penalties were terrible. But again, when you let a bad team hang around in the football game, we saw this all day at college football Saturday. Appalachian State, you know what I'm saying? Washington State. All these upsets we saw Saturday at college football, we saw the same thing in the NFL. You let terrible teams hang around, all of a sudden you get 1 play. 2 plays, 3 plays, and the momentum is there.
There's no doubt about it. Missed opportunities are going to be everything. They should have been up multiple touchdowns in the first half. You want to blame offensive execution? They had great field position. I mean, Bonte,
great field position.
I think through 4 or 5 possessions, the Bears averaged the 12 starting line, and the Niners were like the 43.
Well, here was first half, Shasky. First half.
Yeah.
Average field position, 49ers 40-yard line.
There you go.
Bears 14-yard line. Yet you're only up 7-0 at the half. Well, that can't happen. That can't happen with that type of field position.
No, it can't. The other thing that I want to get to is we talk so much, and you brought this up about preseason. Now it's going to bleed into the first month of the regular season, and Shanahan doesn't want to play anybody, and I get that. You don't want anyone to get hurt. George Kittle barely played at all in the preseason, and he still got hurt in practice, for crying out loud. Yeah. Let me give you the beginnings of their season in terms of them not being buttoned up. And to me, this is both players and coaches, because the penalty thing is just completely inexcusable. 2018, they lose 16-24 up in Minnesota. They throw away the ball 3 times, they fumble it once, and they have 6 penalties in that game. 2019, 5th most penalties in the Shanahan era, 11 for 87. There were 3 turnovers by Jameis Winston. That's the only reason they won in Tampa Bay in Week 1. Week 1 in 2020, okay? 5 penalties, 53 yards. Last year, Week 1, 7 penalties, 79 yards. Yesterday, they basically gave up 100 yards and 12 penalties and 4 different drive-extending penalties. That is an unbuttoned up team from the get-go, and that can derail a season.
Well, it could derail a season. Drake Greenlaw, the face mask there in the monsoon.
Horrific.
It's a terrible call. Travis Ward got called for a defensive holding call that extended the drive, which led them to a touchdown. It was a terrible call, in my opinion. A terrible call. Al-Shaair, Fields is sliding. There was 2 slides by Fields yesterday that got called late hits. One on the sideline in the first half. It's on the sideline, and Moose Johnson and Joe Davis like, oh, we don't know about that one, where they started mentioning how the refs were calling it tight. Greenlaw's just flying out of bounds. He doesn't touch Fields. Yet he gets flagged for 15 yards. Al-Shaair, Fields hurry up his slides. How do you defy physics? Al-Shaair gets the 15-yard penalty. He's out of the game because he's a concussion protocol. Bears go on the drive there. By the way, the touchdown to St. Brown, Fields had a choice. There's 2 guys wide open, and Greenlaw got sucked in on a play fake, and St. Brown goes to the corner of the end zone wide open.
I don't pretend to be some defensive X's and O's expert. I don't. I'm not trying to pretend that, but the people that know these things, Richard Sherman was talking about that play on his podcast, and what he was saying was that the safety, when they switched in, the wide receiver pointed like he was going to block. The safety's supposed to roll over, and both guys, the safety, 31 Gibson, and Greenlaw, miscommunicated and covered the wrong guys. And then credit to Justin Fields. He looked to the flat first and then threw it over the top. It was a wide open play. Just like the Dante Pettis play was a wide open play because Greenlaw is going to double cover a running back that was already being covered.
All right, let's go to EJ in Daly City. Let's get this popping off. EJ in Daly City, you're on the roast here. What's your thoughts on the Niners' loss yesterday to the Chicago Bears? They lose 19-10 to start the season here in 2022.
Yo, what's up, guys? I love the show. I always listen. I always tune in with you guys.
Thank you.
Honestly, Trey, what can you expect from Trey? Second start. And honestly, people are expecting him to be like Mahomes or Josh Allen straight off the bat. Of course, people are supposed to expect the growing pains, obviously, but everyone's torching him and bashing him on Twitter or Reddit or wherever. But I also want to talk about the run game. Like Shafi said, why didn't you put in Mason? Why didn't you use your or Ayuk? I know they used him on a jet sweep once and never again after that.
Agreed. Yeah. And then also off of the running game, the play action was working. The beautiful pass to McLeod was a play action play. Yeah. The beautiful pass to Ayuk was a play action play. Get back to that.
Yeah, they didn't get back to that at all. And Jeff Wilson Jr., 9 carries, 22 yards. He came into the football game, and I was thinking to myself, I'm watching it. And I'm looking around saying, can I get Mason? Can I just see Mason? Can I get a little juice? I've been begging for, this is what I mean by bell cow. Can I get a guy who has some juice, who's a threat to the defense, who could pop a big one? Jeff Wilson Jr. can't pop a big one at this point, and he's not a factor in the passing game. And if Kyle Juszczyk is out there, well, you know what? Use him in the passing game. He was a non-factor yesterday. So I thought Trey Lance, look, we're going to start there with Trey Lance, number 5. Overall, Trey Lance, I thought he looked solid. The fourth quarter to Monsoon, it got ugly there.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Real quick on the Monsoon. It was so bad. The camera work was so bad. It was covered in rain. They switched the actual field and they tried to make it black, the white lines, because you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, that's funny. Now I watched the replay. I mean, come on. It was bad. But I thought Trey Lance made some great throws. The one to Jawan Jennings down the left sideline there. But again, you have to take advantage of opportunities. This game, to me, In the first half, you left a lot of food on the table. And then basically the Dante Pettis play. You mentioned a 4-play sequence. Dante Pettis is wide open for 51 yards. And at that point, the Bears had done nothing. So at that point, Jessica, I actually wrote this down here. At that point, the Bears basically had 75 yards of total offense. 75 yards of total offense. Then they get 51 right away. 51 just like that. They were doing nothing. Bears, let me tell you, at Soldier Field, Bears fans were booing. They were like, what is this offense? This isn't 1933. We're not running a 4 horsemen backfield. It was unbelievable how bad they were offensively, and yet they come out of there and steal that football game. I'm in disbelief right now with that football game, and I'm not going to play the blame game. I'm sure people will. There's no agendas here. This is Trey Lance's football team. But you got to help the young man out. You got to help him out. You can't put it all on the shoulders.
No, it's a great point, because what did we say all offseason? What did this team say all offseason? We've got such a great roster around him. We're not going to ask him to win games. Yet yesterday, second half, we literally were asking him to win that game.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's totally unfair. Now, look, he didn't play great. I didn't think he played horrific. I didn't think he was the sole reason why they lost that game. There's a lot that goes into these things. But this defense that I was expecting to be an anchor
defense let me down.
Not stand up, period. You gave up 19 unanswered points.
The defense did not stand up when they needed to. Bad penalties, bad tackling. You know how many missed tackles I've seen on Justin Fields? Oh, my God. Ebukam, Greenlaw. And listen, I'm tired of people saying that the Niners have the best linebacking core in pro football. The best linebacking core in pro football is down to Tampa Bay.
Probably.
Did you see those guys yesterday?
They don't miss
Let's
tackles.
stop with that. Greenlaw misses so many tackles. He gets lost in space. He's reckless at times. Committing penalty. It's just too much. Stop with the best defense, best linebacking core.
Well,
we have to see it because they let me down yesterday in that second half.
And they missed Jimmy Ward. That's the other part of this. I haven't heard anyone bring up, we missed George Kittle. We missed Jimmy Ward. And then Mike McGlinchey didn't look healthy. Period.
Well, Mike McGlinchey, whether or not he looks healthy, if you're on the football field, I expect you to block.
Yeah, but he's not an elite blocker.
So you have 4 or 5 offensive linemen who are liabilities. That's not a recipe for success.
I don't think Aaron Banks is any good.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Bonte, I don't think Aaron Banks is any good at right guard. The reality is that they, as much as we want to complain about how much they moved up to go get Trey Lance, the second-round pick, who they took at guard, who was supposed to be a guy that was going to fill it, when you allowed Laken Tomlinson to walk in free agency, he looks like a massive downgrade.
All right, 888-957-9570. We're going to be rolling on this all day long. Niners lose to Chicago, 19-10 yesterday in their season opener. They head back to the Bay Area to take on the Seahawks in their home opener next Sunday. A lot of calls, 888-957-9570. What went wrong, in your opinion, for the San Francisco 49ers yesterday at Soldier Field in the monsoon? It was ugly. It was bad. But the season's not over yet. It's just week 1, folks. We're just getting started here on the Russell Shasky and Bonte, and that's sponsored by Enova International, Inc.
Brought to you by On Deck Small Business Loans.
When you own a small business, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. OnDeck makes it easy to apply in minutes. Apply for your loan today at OnDeck.com.
To the first Monster Monday of the season.
We'd obviously like to get a win, but it's just annoying to give a game away like that.
We're reacting to the Niners' loss in Chicago all day long. No!
Just frustrated with myself a little bit. Just feel like I'm a lot better than that.
On the Bay Area's sports station, 95.7 The Game.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Baseball, basketball, soccer, tennis. No matter what your game is, defense matters. Same thing goes for COVID-19. Help protect yourself with a booster shot. Now recommended for people 5 years and older. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible following completion of your primary series. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
If you're a professional builder or designer, here's some good news from Golden State Lumber. Their relationships with Capital Lumber, Cal Cascade, Humboldt Sawmill, and others have led to an increase in lumber inventory. Golden State strives to deliver most materials the next day, if not the same day. Be sure to download the Golden State app, which provides access to hundreds of resources. Find it at goldenstatelumber.com. For 3 generations, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new laundry set with the latest technology for faster, more efficient cleaning and drying so you can get back to the sounds of fall. Making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Final days to get up to 30% off select appliances, all finishes included, in September 14th. Offer valid August 25th through September 14th. See store or online for details.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer? A big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
On the south side, we got 6 poly panels, and please make sure they're flush.
Kwame is converting everyone on the block to solar power.
Please get a crew to wrap up 202 South Duane.
He needs more certified installers before the sun sets on his business boom.
Well, let's pick up the pace. We got a long day.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Dave Matthews Band is coming to Shoreline on September 17th. For more info and tickets, visit 957thegame.com/events.
So 3rd down and long. A twist up front, able to collapse the pocket. Fields keeps it alive as a wide open Pettis. And now Pettis down the sideline and in. Improvisation and a touchdown from 51.
Yeah, he broke a sack. I think Armstead had him right there. Fields did a hell of a job getting away from it. It was tough to get away from him. I think it was Eric. And then he bought time, and coverages don't last that long.
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonte and Shasky.
You heard from Shanahan. You heard from Joe Davis there on the call as Dante Pettis is uncovered. There was nobody within 18 yards of him on that 51-yard touchdown as Justin Fields does what he does best, which is scramble them, make moves, make things happen. He's a slippery quarterback, no doubt about it. 8-17, 121 yards and 2 TDs yesterday, all in the second half, basically. And Dante Pettis, the former 49er. Remember that guy, folks? Yeah, he remembered us. He remembered the 49ers, and he scores a 51-yard touchdown there. Bears get back into it, 10-7, and he stole all the momentum there. By the way, the segment is presented by Golden State Lumber and Building Materials for professional builders and contractors throughout Northern California. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. We're going to get back to the calls in just one second, but that play, Shasky, was just so frustrating because I saw it right in front of my face, and I said, oh, boy, please don't look to the right. Please don't look to the right. Oh, we got trouble. We got problems, and the Bears go ahead and roll from that point on.
Well, look, he wasn't perfect in this game, Trey Lance, but it's going to be the biggest talking point because when you keep Jimmy Garoppolo out here, fair or not, every single person is going to come out with what I believe to be the laziest opinion of all time, and that is pivot to the Jimmy would have won this game.
Yeah,
and to me, I find that to be absolutely absurd because we have enough evidence now that shows us that in rain games, and they played the Washington football team, Jimmy didn't score a touchdown in that game.
They won 9-0.
They won 9-0. You know
and
why?
He had one good drive.
Because that team defensively suffocated the other team. That didn't happen yesterday against the Colts last year on that primetime game. Carson Wentz outdueled them, and they couldn't stop them defensively. They lost that game as well. They also lost the Baltimore game a couple of years ago in the rain. So this is not this quarterback would have won, that one wouldn't. And you're going to see another thing today, and this is a part that really frustrates me. So-and-so's not ready. Was Matt Ryan ready yesterday when they tied? How about Joe Burrow? Was Joe Burrow ready yesterday?
Threw three interceptions in the first half.
Was Aaron Rodgers ready yesterday? One of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. This narrative that a player isn't ready, I take it the other way and I say, look, the kid has a long way to go in his development. A long way. No one is denying that. There were some things he did yesterday that you could see the physical traits and gifts, and some of the throws that he made, I'm encouraged with. The throw to McLeod, the throw to Ayuk, the throw to Jennings on 3rd and 7 to throw 44 yards. That was a gorgeous ball. And I like that he only had the one turnover-worthy throw. To me, that's the bigger takeaway. In a monsoon, and he used his feet to create time, everybody's going to go, Jimmy, Trey. To me, I'm encouraged as a Niner fan. They got the right guy.
Well, you know what? And I know Dak Prescott got hurt yesterday, broke his hand. He's out 6 to 8 weeks, and a lot of people are saying, well, trade Jimmy to the Cowboys. I actually don't want to trade Jimmy to an NFC team because of the way Shanahan is using Trey. I need to see how Shanahan deploys Trey Lance moving forward.
Well, he took too many hits.
Way too many hits. And that concerns me. All right? You're going to be playing the Seattle Seahawks soon. They're going to be trying to fly around and knock you in the mouth. They're going to try to hurt Trey Lance. They're going to play the Rams soon. They're going to try to hurt Trey Lance. They're going to play the Chargers. They have Bosa and Khalil Mack coming off the edge. I may need to keep Jimmy for a little while longer, but I got to say, it is weird seeing him on the sideline. I just wish Jimmy was gone, to be honest with you, so we wouldn't have this conversation.
Agreed.
But then again, I told you on Friday, this was not a win-win situation for Trey Lance. It was a lose-lose.
But you know
what,
the
Niners lose a game, he's going to get the blame. If the Niners won the game, well, it's just the Chicago Bears. He should have won that game. So Trey Lance cannot win in this situation here. People are going to say he's not ready. What I saw with my own 2 eyes at the football game, and then when I went back to the hotel room and watched it back over, I saw a quarterback ready to start in this league. I really did. You want to say 13 to 28? That's fine. The monsoon in the fourth quarter, throw that away. The ball, you couldn't throw. You heard Deebo Samuel. It was hard to catch the ball. I saw it slip right out of Juszczyk's head. The ball was nasty. It was heavy. You can't throw in that weather. You can't throw in that situation. But for 2.5, 3 quarters, Shasky, the young man didn't force anything. If guys weren't open, he was just going to run and make something happen. So I'm cool with Trey Lance right now.
Well, and I do believe the quarterback conversation is overshadowing the game itself. And in the game itself, Fred Warner looked good. Bosa had a few moments, but he didn't do what I expect Bosa to do yesterday. Armstead had a few moments where he broke through, but they couldn't wrap up. Greenlaw, horrific, absolutely horrific tackling. I thought Hufanga was special yesterday. This offensive line, Trent Williams included, looks suspect. The running game without Elijah Mitchell, 0 pop, and I'm worried about Deebo.
Yeah, and I'm worried about George Kittle. Because Deebo right now I watched him run every single route yesterday. he's not getting separation. He has no wiggle when it comes to route running. The way to get Deebo Samuel the ball is smoke screens and out of the backfield.
I told you.
And at this point, you might as well just move him the tailback and say, hey, Deebo, let's run the ball 19 times a game. Let's go to the consultant at Walnut Creek. The consultant at Walnut Creek, what's happening? You're on the roast. What's up, consultant? Going once.
Can you guys hear me? Can you?
Oh, yeah, we got you now. We got you.
All right. Hey, look, man. Let's start with the talking point because everyone wants to talk about it, but I don't even think that's the story of the game.
Thank you.
That's Trey Lance. I thought Trey Lance did fine.
Me too.
You know, I thought he looked good. I thought he made some good decisions. He didn't look like the moment was too big for him. And look, when you look at the offense, there's 5 specialty players on that offense: Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle, Elijah Mitchell, and David Gray. 3 of the 5 were gone. So you had 2 basic weapons out there. But here's why I think they lost yesterday. Number 1, that defense giving up so many penalties and giving up almost 100 yards in plays. When the weather is that bad, you cannot have that. And number 2, and we haven't talked about this yet, man, I thought that was Shanahan's almost one of his worst play calling days I've seen in many, many years.
Thank you.
He did not adjust. All those guys were out. Run after run after run after run. Some play action, please. Some cuts across the middle. Get some separation for some players. Maybe get some of your tight ends involved in the pass game. I mean, they did not help out the team. All I kept on thinking, like, yo, the best player on our team is Shanahan, and he let us down. He did not call a good game. Now, I'm not, of course, calling.
I'm with the consultant.
Game.
It was a bad game. I agree.
It was a bad game, but you know what? And without George Kittle, here's the thing. The Niners moved up to draft Trey Lance. Why? It wasn't because Jimmy was not a good quarterback. It was because he couldn't stay on the football field. The 2018 and 2020 seasons were wrecked because Jimmy got hurt. Well, the same thing needs to be applied to George Kittle. And I know people are out there saying, well, George Kittle he's played 84% of his available games. How many of those games has he been lingering with injuries? Pop capsule and kneecap, fracture ankle to where he's compromised and limited. Where I'm getting at, Shasky, is they need another playmaker at tight end. Croft, Dwelly are not the answer when George Kittle's not there. When George Kittle's not there, you got no weapons from the tight end, and this offense relies heavily on the tight end in double tight formations, 3 tight end sets, tight ends to block, but also run it down the seams. You need a backup tight end here, folks.
And it will be the play to Croft is going to get highlighted. You can't miss that throw, and a lot of people are going to, and I'll be the first to say it. Trey can't miss that throw. You cannot overthrow that guy because
how many times we see Jimmy miss that throw last year?
But hear me out here. Those opportunities are few and far between in the game. And when they present themselves, you want them to hit it. Here's what I would say. I went to a lot of practices. I didn't see Tyler Croft running with the 1s or the 2s on a wheel route working with Trey Lance. We talk so much about Deebo not working with this guy. Yet we expect this guy in a monsoon to hit that dude in stride. It's a tougher play than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah, no, he's got to make that play. I think George Kittle runs under it. That's just me. You're throwing it. Tyler Croft feels wide open. Trey owned up to it after the game. Said, I've got to hit that throw. He owned up to it, but no doubt about it.
He identified 4 mistakes at the podium immediately, and to me, that tells me self-awareness. He realizes that he needs to be better. Those are the traits that are going to get you to the next level.
But again, those first 2 drives, you should have walked away there at least up 10-0. The Deebo fumble, you get the Hufanga interception, you're rolling, clicking, 1st and 10 inside the 35-yard line, and you get no points there. That was a bad omen for the 49ers, and we're going to continue to roll. Talk Big T, Manuel, Joe, and much, much more. All you guys are going to get on the on the airwaves here. 888-957-9570. Niners lose to the Bears 19-10, and we're talking all about it here on The Roast. Sponsored by Fremont Bank. Full-service banking, no compromises.
It was a brutal loss for the Niners.
I'm disappointed about some of the silly mistakes we did to ourselves.
Deebo Samuel lines up in the backfield for the first shot. Gets chopped down. The ball comes on top of it.
I made too many mistakes. Just too many mistakes. A lot of stuff to clean up for sure for me.
On 3rd and 5, Lance gets intercepted by Eddie Joe.
We're reacting to Week 1 on the Bay Area sports station, 95.7 The Game.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
If you owe back taxes to the IRS, have unfiled returns, or are worried about an audit, the IRS is hiring 87,000 new agents to address these very issues. That means if you need to get your tax problems resolved, now is the time to get started. I'm tax attorney Robert Goldstein, and my firm specializes in helping individuals and small businesses resolve their tax problems. We work to stop IRS and state seizures. We may be able to settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar with an offer in compromise. We prepare your past due returns, even if you have no records, and represent you before the IRS and state in an audit. At the law offices of Robert Goldstein, the consultation is always free, and we have offices located throughout the Bay Area. To schedule your free consultation, call 1-888-TAX-EXIT. That's 888-TAXEXIT. 888-TAX-EXIT, and make us your last stop.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like Square Pizza. That place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo-Hoo? The spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Oh,
Order up!
You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper-gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper-gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months, because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations, so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether you need tech for the office, home, or school, Staples is your total tech solution.
A powerful PC that'll help me deliver the perfect presentation.
Staples has you covered.
Tech support to help get my new laptop up and running.
Staples has you covered with tech solutions, services, and accessories. And now save up to $260 on select PCs. Plus save 25% on Staples total support to protect your new or existing PC. Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 9/17, in-store only, limit 2 while supplies last.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Breaking news on 95.7 The Game is brought to you by Beat the Street. For tips to win a $5.6 million prize. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh my God.
You can miss out on Kittle. You can miss out on Jimmy Ward for this Week 1 matchup. You know, I mean, Tom's the color guy for them. He's very tapped in. Yep. But I'm just looking at this Bears roster compared to the 49ers right now, and I just don't see there being any chance that the Bears can win this game, even if George Kittle is out. Like, I really don't. I don't understand. I'm not afraid to say that, look, this could easily be a 34-13 game for the 49ers.
Wow.
I really think so.
Even without Kittle.
Even without Kittle.
Now, back to the morning roast with Vontae and Shasky.
It's a little party shot to our friend, our brother, Stephen Langford, who's moved on to bigger and better things at KCB, has said, listen, we all thought the Niners were going to win that football game. But Shasky, I've been saying it. You know, I have a healthy fear. Week 1, weird things happen. And when Kittle got announced that he was out, and I knew that the rain was going to come in.
Yeah, but we didn't know the rain was going to be like that, Pete. When I saw rain, I'm just saying me. I don't know about you. When I saw rain, I was like, oh, it'll rain a little. That was not a little rain. That looked like a straight-up monsoon.
By Saturday night, we all knew it was going to be a monsoon. Everybody was saying, it's going to get nasty. It's going to be nasty. And thank God we packed our hoodies and our puff coats to brace for it. And I woke up and I said, oh, this is really nasty. And the only thing I regretted about yesterday is not slamming the under in that 49ers-Bears game. It was at 40.5. It dropped to 37.5. And I said, I'm going to just wait on it. Well, it was 29 total points. The under was a lock yesterday. So I just wanted to give nice guy a nice little party shot there because everybody thought this was going to be a blowout. And it was a complete opposite. The Shanahan era. That was the 4th most penalties ever in a Shanahan coach game with the 49ers. The 4th most penalties. To see this defense commit that many penalties, 3 15-yarders, I will say there were some phantom calls, like the Javon Kinlaw holding call, right? They called Javon Kinlaw for defensive holding. I watched the back judge, Shasky, in the back of the end zone next to the goalpost, throw his flag after the play. I'm like, what is he saying? He calls 99 for defensive holding. I want you later on to go watch that playback. Javon Kinlaw was double-teamed on the play. I don't know what the hell the back judge saw, but it gave the Bears a first down instead of a second down. And next thing you know, the Niners are basically like, you know what? This game may not be it for us. The Bears score a couple plays later, game over. I don't know what the hell the back judge saw, but there was a lot of questionable calls yesterday at Soldier Field.
Well, and the one that I do believe that we're going to look at, not just I'm talking about NFL as a whole, is the quarterback sliding one, which you've referenced already.
Right.
It feels a lot like the pump fake lean in the NBA, where guys have taken it to the next level. The quarterback's allowed to slide at the very last moment, and then if they don't want to slide, no one wants to hit them because they're fearful of getting a 15-yard penalty, so they get 3, 4, 5, 7 extra yards. Russell Wilson's great at this. And then they slide into you. And then you have nowhere to go on a wet field, and you fall on that individual, or you're trying to slow yourself up, automatic 15 yards. I mean, the Al-Shaair one, I just don't know where he's supposed to go on that.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. They're going to call it every time.
Then he gets called to go in the blue tent, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, I know.
What are we doing here?
I know. It was
a love tap.
By the way, Jerry Rice, the GOAT, is going to join us at 8:30. 8:30, Jerry Rice will join the morning roast to give us his thoughts on what went down yesterday at Soldier Field as the Niners lose 19-10. Shasky back in the studio in San Francisco. I'm out here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Still, and everybody's looking at me crazy, Shasky. I'm still wearing my Niners gear.
Good.
And they've got a little smirk on their face. By the way, can I say something real quick before you go off? Bear fans, maybe the softest fan base in all of sports. Those jokers didn't say a word to me for the first 2.5 quarters. The first 2.5 quarters, we're the Bears. We suck. We're not going to be any good. You guys should be it. It was la. Can you please sit down, please? And I'm like, no, I'm not sitting down. My team's on the field.
Yeah.
They're flying around the football, hitting people. I'm fired up. It's week 1. Those jokers started talking a lot of mess as soon as they got a little points on the board. They got a first down. Oh, yeah, we finally got a first down. Woo-hoo. Bear fans, you're soft. I was very disappointed in the monsters of the Midway. Their fan base is soft. So soft. They started talking. Now they got these little smirks like, you guys lost to us. They know they're weak, Shasky. That's what's so frustrating. Bears fans know the Bears are weak.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to have to take your word for it. I haven't seen them in person when it comes to their actual fans. But getting back to the game itself, Bonte, how many 49er fans wanted Jimmy in that game? Because I'm watching that game, and I keep coming back to it. My text messages were going crazy with certain people. Jimmy. I'm like, what is Jimmy going to do? How many plays did Trey make with his legs where there was no play? Like, I don't know who's throwing the ball in those conditions. They dropped three balls behind the line of scrimmage yesterday that were in guys' hands.
If you tell me that you think Jimmy should have played in that game and they would have won that game, it tells me that you didn't watch the game and you haven't watched Jimmy Garoppolo closely over the last 4 years. And I like Jimmy. He would have got murdered in that game yesterday. He would have got murdered, okay? He would have got murdered behind that offensive line in those conditions, and it would have had to run the ball over and over and over again. Trey Lance made things happen because he is mobile in the pocket. He does step up in the pocket. I thought he had a great first down where it was a third down play, and it looked like he was going to run, and he fired a dart to Ross Dwelly. I was like, wow, look at Trey Lance settle in the pocket, make a throw from the pocket by scrambling a little bit.
Yeah,
the whole
that was
Jimmy
a great throw on third down.
Great throw on third down.
And there was no play to be made. Both tackles were getting collapsed in. Time and time again, the guy looked pretty damn good in the pocket. The step up to Ayuk was a beautiful throw. The throw to McLeod was gorgeous. There are some plays that you see on film and you're like, wow, he's flashing here. And then there's a lot of things he needs to clean up. But it's hard for me to take away any evaluation. And this is not an excuse. It's an explanation. It was a pouring downpour of monsoon. Bonte,
to be fair, Shasky, the monsoon only took place in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but Bonte, that was when they were down the most, and they had to throw from behind.
But you know what? They shouldn't have been down. That's the whole point of this exercise.
Agree with that.
They shouldn't have been down 14-10 to the damn Bears. They shouldn't have been down.
I
agree
with that.
Should have been up 14-0 at
but
least
did he fumble? Did he fumble in the red zone?
No, Debo did.
Was he the one that ran it on first and second down? Third when it was first and goal from the 6. Okay, first and goal from the 6. They're up 7-0. They run with Jeff Wilson Jr. Gets stuffed. They run again with Jeff Wilson Jr. Tackle for loss, and then on third down he drops back. It's all slants. No one's open. I don't want him fitting it into a window and turning it over. He takes a sack there, and they have to kick a field goal. Can you throw the ball? And I'm going to Shanahan. Throw the ball into the end zone here. 14. That game's over.
Here's the deal. On that second down play that you mentioned, where Jeff Wilson Jr. got tackled for a loss of 2 yards. Go back and watch Juwan Jennings try to make a block. He blew his block. That was the story of the game. These guys in situational football, those little plays.
Croft missed a ton of blocks.
Croft missed a ton. Juwan Jennings let his guy just go inside. Briscoe is his name. Jaquan Brisker, the strong safety, number 9. Jaquan Brisker just blows up Juwan Jennings and stuffs Jeff Wilson Jr. Juwan Jennings gets his hat on him. That's a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's a touchdown for Jeff Wilson Jr. So they're not executing at a high level.
Debo fumbling in the red zone. Like when Jimmy Garoppolo threw picks in the red zone, we lost our minds. If Trey Lance were to throw an interception, and he did in the middle of the field, but in the red zone, we'd lose our minds. Debo fumbling, whether it's the rain, the wetness, whatever, I'm expecting my superstar player who I just gave a boatload of money to not fumble on one of the most crucial possessions of the year.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel, outside of the jet sweeps, he had 2 catches for 14 yards. 2 catches,
and
14 yards.
A drop on a screen that they snuffed out.
A terrible drop. And by the way, Brandon Ayuk, I need more than 2 targets for Brandon Ayuk.
I agree.
Brandon Ayuk is too damn talented to walk off a football field with only 2 targets in a passing game. Juwan Jennings had 6 targets yesterday. 6. Brandon Ayuk had 2. Brandon Ayuk, you have to utilize this guy. This guy has potential to be a superstar. I watched Minnesota yesterday. Justin Jefferson's everywhere. They scheme everything for him, and they force feed that guy the ball. Can I get Ayuk involved more in the passing game? Please.
But you also have to protect, right? That's another element of it. And I think that the weather really, I'm telling you, it's not an excuse. It's an explanation. They couldn't block yesterday. Now, maybe the field is gorgeous and they still can't block, but I'm with you on throwing the ball to Ayuk more.
And I got one last thing before we go to talk Big T about the rain and the monsoon. We all said, this is 49ers weather.
Yeah.
The 49ers are the more physical team. They got the more physical team. They're the hard-hitting team. They run the football. Well, so I don't want to hear any excuses today about the rain and the monsoon because we saw the Niners go up to Green Bay and kick their ass in the playoffs. All right? We see them go to bad weather places and play physical football.
Yeah, but in that game, they didn't score any offensive touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, they got a special teams blunder, and that's how they were able to capitalize.
I don't want to hear anything about the rain. Well, that's not an excuse. You're the better football team. Even without George Kittle, you're the more talented football team. You have the better head coach. You have the better play caller.
But wouldn't you agree that the weather equalized the game? You can't meet me in the middle and say that the weather equalized the game a little?
The first 3 quarters, the weather was not a factor.
But the field was horrific.
The field was fine.
Move.
Guys were moving around fine. I disagree with that.
When Justin Fields ran around, 4 guys fell on the defensive line. Just fell.
You got to break down and just be careful. The guys were going in recklessly trying to knock Justin Fields' head off. Well, tackle.
They missed a ton of tackles. That is undeniable.
Let's go to Talk Big T at Fairfield. Talk Big T. What's happening? You're on the roast.
Good morning, gentlemen. So,
what's up?
A lot of guys stole my thunder. You guys done hit on everything that I wanted to say. So I can't really say it with the same fervor that I want to say it with. So I'm going to just reiterate a couple things. Butcher, I agree with you about Debo. I've been saying it. That dude is a running back at this point.
Thank you.
Jeff Wilson, he don't have it. He was a nice little story in 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
We need to move on.
Thank you.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we should have cut him and kept Hasty. Now, this is what I really want to call about. And I love this guy, but I'm talking about Shanahan. I love my coach. But, man, he gets so vanilla at sometimes. And how many 10-point second-half leads are we going to blow, fellas?
Yeah.
Now, when you have a 10-point lead, that's 2 scores, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking with this offensive genius, weather the storm, bro. If they go up and they got the full touchdown, we up 10-7. Man, I need you to go back down, man, and give me a touchdown and get back up 10.
Yep.
And let my defense get some rest, and then we can kind of finish it off. But it seems like when these teams punch us in the mouth, we tuck our tail, and these teams make runs on us. They don't just stop at 7. They went on a 19-0 run on us and finished the game. Like, I'm tired, man. How many times, fellas, and all these draft picks are starting to add up, y'all.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Kittle, this guy's track record wouldn't be good.
You ain't lying.
Draft picks and all these free agencies. And the last thing before I go, fellas, let's stop referring to Trey Lance as the kid. It's just a pet peeve of mine. That's all.
Well, look, he's very inexperienced, and that's obvious.
Talk Big T, that's all.
Yeah, no, he's very inexperienced, and that's obvious. But the quarterback is one of the 11 that's out there on the field. The bigger thing for me right now, because I actually feel good about Trey Lance, even though it wasn't a perfect performance by any means. But this offensive line, you got Jake Brendel starting in the center. You've got Burford and Banks, 3 unproven guys all next to each other. McGlinchey is mediocre. That's what he is. He's a mediocre tackle. And Trent Williams didn't look great yesterday. This offensive line looked totally overwhelmed by what I would deem to be an above-average defensive line for the Bears.
Yeah, no doubt. You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMG, FM, and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And don't forget that you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. Joe Shasky back in the city of San Francisco. I'm out here in Chicago as the Niners lose week 1, 19-10. 19-10 to Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. Bears scored 19 straight in the second half to steal week 1 to go 1-0. Niners, of course, 0-1. We'll see. We'll have updates on Kittle later in the week, whether or not he could play. But the offensive line, and you brought up Trent Williams. I watched him basically limp off the field at the end of the game.
Well, do you mean
he had a little limp to him.
Like an
injury? He had a little limp to him, and I don't know what's going on with him.
Or a strut?
Just the lip. I don't know if that's his strut or what, but I'm like, man, is he hurt? What's going on there? He didn't look right. But McGlinchey didn't look right. And this is why everybody keeps talking about the offensive line, saying, well, Shanahan's good enough to scheme around the offensive line. They should get to the playoffs. Shaska said it from day one. Since the damn NFL draft.
Yeah.
This offensive line concerns me. The offensive line concerns me. The offensive line concerns me. It will wreck the game. And I know Tampa Bay won yesterday in Dallas 19-3. How many times did Brady get hit?
Oh,
Brady's not going to survive.
No.
Under that. Like Burrow, he got hit numerous times by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Derek Carr and the Raiders. How many times did Derek Carr get sacked?
Aaron
and how
Rodgers.
many times did Aaron Rodgers? It will wreck the game,
Yeah.
and it will ruin your season,
Mm-hmm.
especially for a young quarterback. I just don't get it. You know, you got this young toy, Trey Lance, this young hotshot quarterback. Why would you go into the draft and say, Let's go to cheap route with offensive linemen. Let's go high on TDP, Ty Davis-Price, and not even have them active for week one. Just like,
but Bonte,
it's mind-boggling to me.
It's not just that. They let Laken Tomlinson go, who was a stout guard for this team, above average.
I don't care how much it would have cost. I would have franchised Laken Tomlinson.
For 1 year at minimum. You bring him back for 1 year.
I would have franchised him.
Aaron Banks, who was a second-round pick, does not look good. Burford, we'll see. Obviously rookie, but those both guys very inexperienced. I believe they got like 3 games starting between the two of them. And then you got Jake Brendel, who most people could not pick out. If he walked into their house and tried to serve them dinner today, you wouldn't know who the hell he is. McGlinchey's been mediocre. That's who he is. He's been mediocre. I wouldn't have picked up the 5th-year option. They did. I told you in real time I didn't like that decision.
I didn't like it either.
and then you talked about the running backs. They draft Sermon. They draft TDP. Sermon's not on this team right now. And TDP doesn't even suit up yesterday. So I think it's fair to question not just the draft capital, but the money and how they put together that middle of that offensive line.
So Mike Shanahan gets a lot of credit for all the running backs he drafted and got for the cheap in Denver and all the different 1,000-yard running backs. I'm not going to call Kyle Shanahan a running back genius this morning because they've missed on way too many running backs.
Jerick
McKinnon, Joe Williams, JaMychal Hasty, Trey Sermon. TDP, I ain't seen nothing yet from him. I haven't. People told me he looked good at training camp. He didn't look good to me. He looked okay, just okay. All right, Jordan Mason, we're counting on an undrafted rookie running back
he did look
to
good,
save
though.
them.
Look, I'm not saying he has to save them. Can he get a couple touches? Like Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't break no tackles. He had no juice. Just give somebody else a look. But this is what I'm going back to. Debo needs to be the primary running back. I mean, that's where we're at now.
Who's that?
Debo needs to be their primary running back, and they need to look, and they need to either play Danny Gray. They need better wide receiver production for separation to create throws downfield, and just throw Debo back there. You've already paid him the money. Just figure it out. Put him back there. That's how you maximize the roster.
I don't. And I'm seeing a YouTube chat here. Sean Bullard, Kareem Hunt was on the market for the cheap. Well, I would take Kareem
yesterday.
Hunt.
I would have taken him yesterday.
And you know what? This regime and Shanahan and John Lynch, they've built up enough equity to take a chance on a guy like that. Okay, he has bad character. He's going to want to get paid. But, Devin, I need a home run hitter in the backfield. I need one. I need a guy who I can count on for 20 carries a game. Like, you have to give Deebo Samuel jet sweeps to make him effective and make the running game effective. But that's not running the football to
that's
me.
What
like
I'm
those
saying.
rushing
I
yards
want
to me.
I formation.
Like these rushing yards. Yeah, I want I formation.
Because
and I want to hit people in the mouth.
Juszczyk is one of your highest paid players, and he is a good fullback. But when you take him off the field, I feel like the running game suffers, and that's the area where they miss George Kittle the most, was in the run game.
So I see rushing yards, right? It says 176 rushing yards.
Yeah, but what in the second half when Elijah Mitchell went down?
Right, exactly. Nothing. Jeff Wilson Jr., 9 carries, 22 yards.
9?
Trey Lance had 54 of those yards. Deebo Samuel had 52 of those yards. That's 100 yards from your quarterback and wide receiver. Outside of Elijah Mitchell, you got 22 from. You got to get a running back, man. This is a problem.
The first drive of the second half in the third quarter, Lance gets a 6-yard run, first down. Wilson run, Lance run, Wilson run again, and there was just nothing. They got nothing once they got into the goal line. They were up 7-0. Lance takes the sack on third down. They go up 10-0. Then you roll it back on defense, and that's the sequence where Greenlaw gets the penalty. All right. Very next play, Gibson drops the interception. Boom, a Pettis touchdown. It was all in succession. You don't score the touchdown, then you get the personal foul, then you give up the dropped interception, and then boom, a Dante Pettis coming back to haunt you, 50-yard touchdown.
I never want to hear anybody try to tell me that momentum does not exist.
Oh, my God.
Because I was sitting in that stadium.
You could feel it.
That crowd started rocking as soon as Dante Pettis scored. They all of a sudden, Bear fans who sat on their asses the entire first half. They sat on their asses the entire first half. All of a sudden, Pettis scores, and Bear fans were rocking, singing their little touchdown dance. They were cocky. They were chanting Jimmy G. They were talking a lot. Momentum exists, folks. That switched the entire momentum of that football game. Let's go back out to the lines. 888-957-9570. We got a couple calls here I want to get to before the break. Then we'll get everybody on here. Joe in Pacifica. Joe, what's happening? You're on the roast.
So what's up, guys? Good morning. Look, I think you guys have talked about this in the past before. The book's out on John Lynch and even Shanahan, since he's part of the drafting process. But I mean, you got to give him props for like nailing some of these late round picks. But at some point, missing on these early round picks is going to come. And with the, like you guys said, I mean, this offensive line, the interior part has been an issue since last year. And then now that you lose Mack, you lose Latham Thompson to the Jets, and then you don't address it other than getting 3 kids. I mean, I don't understand what the thinking process is when you have a young quarterback who's playing his 3rd or 4th professional game, and you don't address the offensive line. I don't get the formula for what I heard John Lynch talking over the weekend about building from the trenches, building from the defensive line. Hey, that's great. But when you keep drafting defensive linemen as one of your 1st or 2nd picks overall in the draft and not addressing, getting interior linemen, maybe even getting a backup tight end for George Kittle, building that secondary a little bit, I mean, they're whipping on quite a few picks. I mean, I mean, man, I don't get it. I mean, but these guys are deep. I still feel confident. I like what I saw from Trey. They're going to make the playoffs. Whether or not they'll make it to the Super Bowl and win it, at this point, chapter 1 of a long book.
Joe, thanks for the call. We're not talking Super Bowl today. That did not look like a Super Bowl team. They're a long way away from that.
The part that's a gut puncher is, think about this organization. You don't win a game, and you have to go on the road in the 2013 playoffs and play Seattle up in Seattle, and you don't get that bye. Think about just last year. You had to fight tooth and nail the final 3 weeks of the year to get into the playoffs. Think about what they did in 2019. You had to win a game in Week 17 in Seattle to get the division and get the bye. If you don't think that every game matters, you're not paying attention.
You're not. Lamar and Hayward, before we hit the break, what's going on? You're on the roast.
Hey, I just wanted to I think it's time we stop calling Kyle Shanahan an offensive genius. We're attaching his father's legacy to him. He has never been a genius on our offense has never been ranked top 5 or never been prolific. It's never looked you see how Kansas City's offense looks against Arizona?
Yeah, they look great.
Never looks like that.
They look great. I told you.
He never looks like that.
Go ahead, Lamar.
So
Go ahead.
That's done. And then as far as I heard Butcher Boy say Debo, you guys saying put Debo in the backfield. It's one game. It was muddy. It's hard to get separation in a muddy game. Debo had 1,400 receiving yards last year. So, and part of his biggest weapon is that he's a dual threat. I think we just need to slow down with that for a second.
Well, he had a bunch of yak yards too, though. Like, that's part of the Debo element. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm telling you, if we were just ranking wide receivers in terms of running the routes, like Devontae's at the top of the league, right? Devontae Adams is on a whole nother level than everyone else. Debo is not one of the elite route runners, and that's not why I'm paying him. He's not really a receiver. He's a great football player. That's why I paid him, because once the ball's in his hands, he's running over or through people.
Yeah, but the jet sweeps, people were on that. The Bears were on that. Once they ran a couple of those, the Bears were sniffing that out left and right. So, Shanahan, genius, I'm not there either. Good play caller. I didn't like the game plan too much yesterday, especially the second half, but we'll get into it. 888-957-9570. Georgia Little Rock, Rob, Trey. We'll get to all of you and all your phone calls. 888-957-9570. What went wrong for the 49ers? What's your opinion? Trey Lance. We haven't even delved into the defense at Nazim, Bosa, Armstead, Shasky. I hate to say it. I didn't see a lot from Armstead yesterday. I didn't see a lot.
He fell. He made great pressure on the play where Justin Fields ran around and threw the bomb to Pettis, but he slipped and fell.
I didn't see a lot from Eric Armstead. I'm just saying. We're going to talk all about that. Sponsored by BMW. BMW Fairfield, now open at the Fairfield Auto Mall. They provide a luxurious, all-encompassing experience to address all of your BMW needs. Visit BMWFairfield.com today to book your visit. That's BMWFairfield.com.
For BetQL. NFL MVP futures are one of the most fun bets that you can make, but when you're shopping around for the best value, keep this one fact in mind. You may love JTT or Justin Jefferson or even Aaron Donald, but 14 of the last 15 MVPs have been quarterbacks. In addition, the average stat line for those quarterbacks, 4,400 yards and 40 TDs. What does that mean? It only pays to put your money on the superstars under center. I'm Trista Crick, helping you beat the books.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you considered walking through another door? I don't mean to pursue another opportunity, but upgrading your door in your home. Now, if you are in fact looking for another opportunity, Golden State Window and Door can provide you with plenty. You can create renewed function and design for use indoors and outdoors. You'll find modern options like Marvin's Elevate In-Swing French Door, Barn Doors by True Style, or Anderson Big Doors that welcome in natural light. Golden State Window and Door features a variety of materials and sizes and glass options. You can get inspired by the many possibilities when you visit goldenstatelumber.com. Click on the virtual tours and you will discover beautifully planned displays of doors, windows, all kinds of things that are going to spark your imagination. Then talk with your builder or designer to see what might be a good fit for your home. Serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience.
So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalize this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Just happy to be here.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
'49ers on the move, opening drive. First down at the 16. Deebo Samuel lines up in the backfield for the first time and gets chopped down. The ball comes out and the Bears are on top of it. Chicago with the first takeaway of 2022.
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonte and Shasky.
That one hurt. That one hurt. Deebo Samuel with the fumble there in the first quarter. That was a play after Trey Lance found Brandon Ayuk wide open. Play action pass, crossing route, 31-yard dart to Ayuk, and everybody was feeling good in red and gold. The Soldier Field felt like they were about to go up 7-0. They fumble. Momentum kind of halts. Second drive, Hufanga gets the pick. Niners will capitalize there. They end up losing 19-10 as the Bears score 19 unanswered points in the second half to beat the Niners in a week one upset at the Soldier Field. Yeah, it was dumping in the fourth quarter. The field positions were a bit slick, but there's no excuse to losing to the Chicago Bears. By the way, beat the streak, Shasky. Beat the streak. There's $5.6 million up for grabs with MLB Beat the Streak game. Check out the Beat the Streak Daily podcast to find out which players have the best chance to get a hit today so you can get closer to becoming a millionaire. Call out players from your local MLB team who are hot or due for a hit. Download Beat the Streak Daily on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Jerry Rice, 8:30, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, will join the morning roast. 8:30, Jerry Rice, you don't want to miss that, as he will have his thoughts on yesterday's loss to the Bears. We heard the Deebo fumbled all right there, Shasky.
Yeah.
Deebo's on high alert. He's on high alert. I'm watching him very, very closely after a tumultuous offseason.
Well, look, I thought there were 4 drives, 3 for the Niners and 1 for the Bears that did them in this one. We talk about missed opportunities.
Yep.
The Deebo fumble, where they were marching down and then they fumble in the red zone. Like, you just can't have that happen. I don't care if it's the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, it doesn't matter. The other one was when Lance missed Tyler Kroft, and then on the very next play, takes a sack and they
Two plays later, yeah.
Excuse me, 2 plays later, they take a sack and they have to punt and they're kicked out of field goal range. So that's 2 scoring opportunities that they completely negate on. The third one was first and goal from the 6, and you run 2 times going into the teeth of the defense, and then take a sack and then take a field goal. And then the other drive to me defensively was the Greenlaw penalty, the dropped interception by Gibson, and then a couple plays later, the Dante Pettis 50-yard play. A big play defensively was going to be a backbreaker.
Well, the Bears were about to punt.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Shasky, when they stuffed, who was it, David Montgomery? They stuffed
3
him.
guys.
Stuffed
Bosa,
him. 3
Warner,
guys.
and Alshire had him, and here comes Greenlaw in at the end.
Inexplicably grabs a face mask, right? Let me tell you, Shasky, Bears fans were booing their offense. They were booing after that play.
And they were up 10-0.
10-0
at that time.
It was going to be 4th and 4. They're going to have to punt the ball away.
From the 30.
Bears fans were booing. They get the first down. Gibson, as you mentioned, drops the interception. Then Hufanga, who had it. He didn't talk about Talanoa Hufanga. He looks like the guy was everywhere. The guy was everywhere. Blowing up running plays. Now let's see what he does in pass coverage. Interception. He was everywhere. He chops down Montgomery again. And then Justin Fields on 3rd and long, finds Dante Pettis wide open. Drake Greenlaw did not have a good football game. Did not have a good football game, folks. There's just no other way to put it. He didn't play well.
Well, him and Alshire had back-breaking penalties.
Back-breaking games. But how about the 51-yard play to Dante Pettis? Shasky, at that point in the football game, the Bears had only had 75 total yards. 75 total yards up until that point. And then, boom, 51-yard touchdown to Dante Pettis. Crowd gets into it. Niners don't do anything with the ball the next possession. And the Bears go down and score again. Just a terrible sequence of plays there. And that flipped the entire football game.
Well, okay, you referenced George Kittle not playing in this game. That was massive. No Jimmy Ward in this game. That was massive. Charvarius Ward had a bad penalty. Trent Williams had a pre-snap false start, which was was right before the interception. Trey Lance, delay of game. Like, every single guy had a hand in this loss. It's not one. And I think the coaching staff as well. When you commit the amount of penalties that they committed, you look undisciplined. And for me, I pivot back to coaching.
Fourth most penalties under Kyle Shanahan yesterday for the 49ers. Fourth most penalties under Kyle Shanahan since he's been head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Back in 2018, they had 14 in Kansas City. That was the Week 3 game where Jimmy Garoppolo tore his ACL. Later on that season, they had 13 in Seattle. Now, they were terrible at that point, but they had 13 penalties there. 2017, they had 13 in Arizona. Glendale, Arizona, 13 penalties. And, of course, yesterday, they had 12 penalties there. 888-957-9570. Hey, calls are rolling. I want to hear from the fans, the 49er fans. Go ahead, Shasky, real quick before we go to the lines.
The most frustrating thing about this game is that I expected this defense to be able to wrap up Justin Fields in the pocket with 4, and that didn't happen yesterday. Bosa had the sack early, I believe, the second quarter, I think it was.
They had 2 sacks early in the first quarter. And back-to-back possessions. Bosa had a sack, and the possession before it was Kinlaw and Obukan with a sack. That was it.
Kinlaw looked great, and then he hurt his ankle, and he didn't look exactly the same. He didn't look exactly the same.
I watched him on the sideline. He kept looking down at the ankle. He was standing up a little bit. Kinlaw, this is a big year for him. This is a big year for him. He's a factor. He got called for the Phantom defensive holding call. Back judge called it from the goalpost. On that same play, I watched that play back over and over again last night trying to say, where's the defensive hold? Kinlaw was getting double-teamed on that play. So who's he on? Like, I don't get that. A defensive hold from Kinlaw when he was getting doubled? I don't know about that one. But the defense, you're right. This defense was supposed to be the best defense in the NFL. Everybody's been talking about this defense, this defense. They didn't show up when they needed to show up yesterday, too. And that was disappointing. Very disappointing. Because Justin Fields last year, Chasky, ran for 103 yards. How do you know what he's not going to do?
The broken
this
plays.
Is what he does.
It's the broken plays, and that's where all their big... And then the other one was wrapping up. I mean, how many screen plays did they run in a row? And Dre Greenlaw, Alshire just not wrapping up?
Over-pursuing.
Good.
Dre Greenlaw, again, I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to freak out. He was reckless yesterday. I was very disappointed in number 57 in his play yesterday. I didn't think he had a good game at all. I thought at times he was unplayable. I don't know what he was looking at in pass coverage. He was over pursuing, missing tackles. I did not like the way he played yesterday.
And yesterday they ran a bunch of play actions in the first half. Because they couldn't establish the run in the second half, you couldn't go back to the well. But where's Danny Gray in a game like that? You draft this guy in the third round.
I get it. I get why you don't play Danny Gray. I'm with you, though. I want playmakers. And listen, Trey Lance threw the deep ball very well. He threw the deep ball very well.
He missed. The Jennings ball was nice, but the Croft ball he missed. He missed that throw.
But I think he could throw the deep ball. You draft these guys that are inactive in week 1. Okay, you want to go special teams? Fine, I get it because it is slick conditions. The rain is happening out there. You want to play field position. And look, the Niners dominated field position. The first half, the Niners had an average starting point of the 40-yard line. The 40-yard line. And they had 7 points. The Bears started every single drive in the first half with an average field position of the 14-yard line. And yet you're up 7-0. You're up 7-0. That can't happen. Let's go to Little Rock, Arkansas. George in Little Rock, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, I want to talk about I had some comments about the offensive line. And I watched the game, and I watched it twice, and I paid close attention to the offensive line. And guys, the pressure was coming from the edge. Aaron Banks played a pretty good game. Now, the center, he kind of gave up. He wasn't doing too well, but the two guards actually held their own. They did pretty good, but McGlinchey got ate up, and then Trent. It's kind of hard to pass block in those conditions because Trent looked like he was more or less trying not to get injured. In those kind of conditions, he was dropping back and he did okay, but I think the problem with what made the offensive line look bad was the running backs. They had holes and creases, but they're just not quick enough or fast enough to get there.
That's a problem.
The Mitchell, I feel like the Mitchell injury is going to be a huge one because they didn't give him the ball early on the first drive, and then all of a sudden, boom, he goes to get it. He's gashing them, and when he goes out, they couldn't get any pop in the run game.
They don't have that. Mitchell has it. Raheem Mostert had it when he was with us, and we're breedable, but we just don't have guys that's quick enough.
No juice.
The hole is there.
No juice.
I was like, why is like Wilson? I'm like, he looked like he should have got more yards off the hole.
Yeah.
You see the hole there, He's just not getting in there quick enough. And,
Yeah, great call, George. Go ahead, George. You got one final thought?
Yeah, I want to talk about Trey Lance a little bit. I don't know if the rain was bothering his vision or what, but he just need to trust what he sees, because he was kind of hesitating with the pump. Just let it go, man.
Well, I hear you, George, but here's what I saw. And watching it back, it kind of confirmed what I saw while I was watching it live at Soldier Field. The Bears just basically dropped 7 back. And they said, you're not going to beat us in a pass game. You're not going to throw it over our heads. We're going to make the adjustments. We're going to take away the slants, the crossing routes, and we're going to make you hold the ball and really have to think. So making a young quarterback hold the ball for 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's where miscues happen. That's where mistakes get made, Shasky. And so I thought Trey Lance did a good job of not forcing it. The one throw he forced was to Eddie Jackson for the pick that sealed the game for the Bears. Other than that, they were 6 and 12 on third down. I thought he didn't force anything. I thought he threw a nice ball. The Ray McLeod throw was nice. It was beautiful. Jawan Jennings on the left sideline. It was beautiful. But I thought Trey did what he had to do to try to read the defense and go through his progressions. I actually like that about him. Tip your cap to the Bears and Matt Eberflus. They said, we're not going to blitz because we know we can get pressure with our 4, and we're going to drop 7 back. We're going to drop 7 back and make it confusing. And Shasky, let's be real. When you drop 7 back in the defense, Debo's not getting separation.
No.
Don't have to worry about him.
No.
You don't have George Kittle in the middle field. Nobody's worried about Dwelly or Croft. So then you got Ayuk there. Can I get Ayuk more than 2 targets? That's the one area I would like to see.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's on Trey or Shanahan.
I don't know. But I'm with you on that. Ayuk clearly needs to get the ball more. He had a really nice catch on, I believe, a first down late in the game where he came across on a little seam route and caught it right before a first down. I want to ask you about the Trey run packages. He had multiple. They had the quarterback sneaks a couple of times. He had the 3rd and 13 run. He had the triple option play, which actually led to them scoring a touchdown after, I think, the play after. It was a really nice little play. And then they had the the McLeod play action throw, which I thought was his best throw of the day outside of the Jennings play. What did you think of how they utilized Trey Lance in the run game? I'm a little worried about the hits he's taking.
I'm so worried about it that I'm not trading Jimmy Garoppolo. I know there's all this smoke about Jimmy going to the Cowboys and this and that. We need linemen. The way Shanahan used Trey was very reminiscent of the way he used him in Arizona last year. I know he's a big guy, but this guy, everybody in the section is like, wow, he's taking a lot of shots. He's taking hits.
Landed right on his shoulder.
Dude, you can hear the contact from up in section 106, row 16, for crying out loud. You can hear the contact. Yeah, not bad seats, right?
Yeah, you had great seats.
Yeah, you had the shade, couldn't get around. It was not bad.
Yeah.
You got to do it. You got to do it right.
You were not in the elements.
You were not in the elements until after the game. But look, I don't like the Trey run package. Listen, I don't like the run package, Shasky. I'm dead serious.
Why?
He's a quarterback. I don't need him running around like Justin Fields every other play, and I get it. You don't want to throw the ball a lot. You want to protect the young man.
I think the elements
you don't have
played
Elijah
a part
Mitchell.
in that. I do. I think the elements played a part in that game plan.
You don't want to play. You don't
be
have
your number
Elijah
one
Mitchell,
rusher.
but he should not be your lead. 13 carries, 54 yards.
Out of necessity, and it felt like it was out of necessity.
Is this Army? Is this Navy? Is this Air Force? I'm not liking it. I don't like the run package for Trey Lance. Treat him like a quarterback, and this is why I'm holding on to Jimmy. Is because of that game plan yesterday.
That's fair.
I need to see through week 7. How is Trey Lance quarterbacking this team? Is there going to be a lot of... And I get it. He can run. That's the benefit of having a Trey Lance. But he's a pocket-first quarterback. I don't like him taking hits like this, and that's why if you're taking hits like this, then you know what? Keep number 10 on the sideline, because we do need that insurance, because it's just a matter of time. If Trey Lance continues to take these hits that he did yesterday, he's going to get hurt. It's inevitable.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And if you're listening right now, driving around your cars, or if you're at home, you can check us out on the Odyssey app. You can also find us on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game. Hit subscribe. Bonte, it is like a slot machine in the chat on YouTube.
Yeah, it's wild.
And the phone lines are lit. Let's go out to them.
Yeah, let's go out to him. Let's go out to Dylan and Hayward. Dylan and Hayward, what's happening? You're on the roast.
How you doing, fellas? Long-time listener.
Thank you.
Time caller.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to touch on a couple of things with this Niner team, man, before I get to my main talking point. First of all, I mean, in terms of in terms of Trey Lance, man, he was what was to be expected. You know what I mean? First year starting as a quarterback, he's going to have his ups and downs. He played pretty solid to me, being what he was up against in terms of, the weather and everything. But for the most part, the penalties, didn't do us any favors on defense.
Nope.
That completely killed us. And then secondly, another thing is that we got to get more aggressive with the play call. Shanahan, sometimes to me, he gets a bit too conservative on offense. We get down after the long pass to Jennings. We get down to the 6-yard line. You do these two little dink-dunk runs with the washed Wilson. He's washed, if you ask me. And then you take the sack. If you ask me, why can't you do more 3, 4, 5, 4 receiver sets out in the red zone like that? Spread these guys out. Let's make a play.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the one area that, Bonte, I've been telling you this, you can never have enough playmakers. Like, I'm watching the Rams the other night, and the Rams are saying to themselves, wow, we've got all these weapons, and we still want to bring Odell Beckham back, right? Because he's obviously got the ACL injury right now. If I'm the 49ers, I'm jumping ahead of the Rams right now, and I'm paying whatever Odell wants once he gets healthy to come to this team. They don't have enough pass options, in my opinion.
No, especially when George Kittle's out.
Exactly.
And this is why you need to go get a backup tight end. And I've been screaming it like Charlie Warner when they drafted him. Well, can he catch? Can he run down the seams?
Dwelly's their best pass catcher of the 3 non-George Kittle tight end options, and that's not saying a lot.
That's not saying a lot.
I thought that third down pass where he stepped up in the pocket, he climbed in the pocket, and he threw a threaded needle in the fourth quarter. That was a ridiculously difficult throw.
And Trey Lance, that was one of his better moments in that fourth quarter because the fourth quarter got hairy.
The fourth quarter was horrible.
Ugly. The fourth quarter was just terrible. Everything just kind of fell apart there. You got to get more playmakers, especially when you look at Shanahan and how many 2 tight end sets he runs.
That's what I'm saying.
He runs so many 2 tight end sets. Don't you want 2 tight ends who could be a threat?
It felt like juice was taken out of the game plan yesterday because of all the jet sweeps to the wide receivers. I didn't get any juice impact yesterday. If that's the case, move his ass to tight end.
I'm not going to lie. It is very disappointing that George Kittle wasn't available for that football game.
Deflating.
Very disappointing. I mean, Trey Lance needs George Kittle. The safety valve, a threat in defense, stretch of the field. They do. But, man, that was disappointing. Week 1, and you're thinking, man, and we know we've been talking about Debo not getting separation with this routes all training camp. So we knew that was going to be a factor. And the fact that Brandon Ayuk, can I get more than 2 targets? I keep going back to this. Brandon Ayuk looked amazing on the jet
why
sweep.
Is that?
The crossing route, I don't know.
Is that pass protection? Is that Trey Lance?
It's a little bit of
coverage from the other team?
It's a little bit of pass protection. It's a little bit of pass protection. It's a little bit of Trey Lance, maybe. I don't know. That's why Baldy. Listen. That's why Baldy's going to be on the show tomorrow at 7:30 to explain this stuff. Because I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to the all 22 and say, "Well, Trey Lance should have thrown there." I'm not playing that quarterback this year. I'm not doing that.
When I watch the other great wide receivers, right, and I don't think Ayuk's in this category yet, but like Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, they're open all day, and everyone knows that they need to be stopped, and everyone's trying to cover them, and yet you continue to force feed those guys.
Right. Well, it felt like they were trying to force feed Debo to get him involved. So many wide receiver screens to Debo Samuel. So many jet sweeps. I was not impressed with Debo Samuel yesterday.
I told you he was running with the running backs when I went to practice, and then when he lined up as a wide receiver, he got 0 separation.
Right. And listen. Everybody's getting on me, so now you want to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. Listen to what I'm saying, folks. Listen to what I'm saying. If Trey Lance is going to run the ball like that 13 times, and he's going to take those type of shots, well, you know what? He's not going to last in the NFL too long. He's not going to last. Keep Jimmy on the team for now. Don't let Jimmy go anywhere because you may need him at some point with the way Trey Lance was running yesterday getting popped. That's I can't get over Trey Greenlaw. I'm looking at something just popped up. I just can't get over Trey Greenlaw's
It does feel like when this team loses games, it feels like a team-wide implosion. And that is the area that scares me the most. Penalties, defense collapsing, inopportunistic, not striking on their opportunities, offensive line getting caved in, playmakers looking invisible. Like, it's never one thing when this team loses. It's a combination of like 5 things imploding at once. And yesterday felt like the perfect storm, literally and figuratively.
I wish we used that logic for Super Bowl 54 because it didn't feel like it was a team-wide meltdown.
Pie chart of culpability.
No, it felt like Jimmy got all the blame there, and a lot of people were off the hook.
I am tired of losing 10-point leads, though. I am not going to lie to you.
Why is that under Shanahan, though? Shanahan's a great play caller.
They made no adjustments in the second half when Elijah went down.
Again, second straight year, Matt Eberflus is now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Last year in Indianapolis, they made adjustments at halftime, and they shut down the 49ers offense in the monsoon. What happened this year? They had the one drive in the third quarter, and they shut down the Niners offense. Matt Eberflus knew everything that was coming from the 49ers. Let's go to Trey in Virginia. Trey, what's happening? You're on the roast.
What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing, man?
Good,
Things
man.
are a lot different than 2 weeks ago, man. We thought we was going to run the score up on them, but couldn't have anticipated the weather. But let me tell you something that I'm very disappointed in. The coaching. This is disrespectful. Kyle Shanahan has our wide receivers out there in the monsoon running the entire route tree. Why are they doing 7-step drops? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? The Chicago Bears did the same thing the first half. They did the same thing that we was trying to do. Then they started playing backyard football. That's what we should have done. Dump offs to the running back, play action.
All screens. That's what the Bears ran.
Kyle's trying to. It just didn't make any sense to me. And then Brandon Ayuk. You say you don't know what's going on with him. What's really going on with him is that they don't play him in the slot enough. They don't move him around.
That's a good point.
He's always outside, predictable.
That's a good
Where is he
point.
going to be? On the left-hand side every time?
Yeah.
So it's very disappointing to me. Kyle kills me with that. And then the last thing that I'm very upset about is D'Amico Ryans. Why are we playing so much zone in the mud? Guys are looking around, slow-footed. Everybody talks about we're a flash-flowing defense. That's what Chicago was doing first half. We were burning them in the zone. They switched to man two high safeties, and then everything that you see is in front of you. We out there playing zone, getting burnt when Justin Fields moves left to right, touchdown. Play action, touchdown.
Yeah.
So I think the coaching was the biggest issue to me.
Well, it's interesting because watching the game in the second half, I'm like, can we send a blitz? Like, Justin Fields is going to try to run around and go crazy. Send a blitz. At one point, they spied with Fred Warner, but it felt like they got away from it. I didn't see enough of that.
Yeah, I didn't see enough of that either. But Trey brought up the screen game.
Oh,
and I agree. I would love the screen. But you know what? When you have a porous offensive line, how can you run a screen? These guys can't pass protect for more than 2 seconds.
Well, Bonte,
so now you expect them to get out there in open field and make some blocks and run a screen? They tried to run some screens, and each screen was a disaster.
I know.
It was an absolute disaster. So this offensive line isn't running. They're not ready to run screenplays. They're just not.
Well, the other part of this is not only did you give up 19 points in the rain yesterday, in the whatever you want to call it, monsoon, they should have got a field goal attempt before halftime. I don't know what that penalty was from the Bears, where they had to wipe the floor down with the towel. I didn't even know that was a rule.
Yeah, I didn't
And
either.
no one's bringing this up. At minimum, they should have had a field goal attempt there at the end. They could have scored 20-plus in that monsoon.
They didn't use their timeouts. I thought the lack of urgency, especially in the fourth quarter, there was no hurry up. The one time they went to the up-tempo, which got things kick-started, did a couple no-huddle plays, and I was like, man, this is great. Up-tempo, you got some speed up. Let's go. Because in the preseason game 2 years ago against the Chargers, they ran some no-huddle in that 2-minute drill with Trey Lance, and he looked dynamic. He went, 75 yards in 45 seconds, and I was like, wow, this guy can run the no-huddle. The lack of urgency in the fourth quarter was alarming. Well, the play clock was under 5 every single time they snapped the ball down
and Kyle yelled at him. I don't know if you saw, explicit something, know the play, and they got to delay a game, and Trent Williams false started. They looked so out of sync.
But you know what, though? The delay game, lack of urgency on offense has been a staple under Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan's a good coach.
But Trey's got to pick it up.
But how many times do we see Jimmy play clock's running down to 2-1, you got to burn a timeout?
They did that during the Harbaugh era,
every single season with Shanahan. So it's a trend that happens with Shanahan, the lack of urgency, the hurry-up offense.
I'm with you there.
They're lining up in the huddle. I'm like, let's go,
it's 6 minutes to go, and you're down 9 points. And
what
not only that, the field is choppy. I want to go to the end of the half. The Bears get the penalty. They punt it to you. You hand the ball off to Debo. He gets a big run, I think a 26-yard run, and you're in position to maybe get a field goal attempt. And it just felt like the plays, I think they ran 2 plays. One of them was going to end up being a screen on the final play, and Trey just threw it into the ground. I mean, he's got to clean up some of the short yardage throws. He has to be.
At that point, the half was over, though. Are they really going to score?
It was the play before that where he had to settle for the check down to Jennings. Right. On that play, I need your best 15-yard play to give you an opportunity to throw the ball into the end zone. You're not throwing it in those conditions from the 45-yard line.
No doubt. I thought this was a team-wide disaster for everybody involved with the San Francisco 49ers. I really do. It was very disappointing to walk out of there with an L to the Chicago Bears, the weak-ass Chicago Bears. That's how you start the season. Now, again, it's week 1. We got a long way to go, folks. A long way to go. But that's a disappointing loss to kick off this season. No doubt about that. You can admit that.
And look, straight up, I've been praising Bosa left and right. You have to get more pressure than what you got in that game. You're against rookie tackles. That is a bad offensive line. And you didn't sack or put enough pressure on Justin Fields, in my opinion.
I thought the Bears, they really took it to the 49ers in the second half with their offensive line. Let's go to Kevin all the way out in OKC, Oklahoma City. Kevin, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning, guys. Enjoy the show, man.
Thank you.
Hey, it was a disappointing game, but I really am tired of people giving Shanahan all this credit like he's some genius, man. He's a good play designer. He doesn't understand situational football at all. Those plays that were running for Trey, those are the same plays they ran for Jimmy. Over the middle, tight windows, quick throws. They got to let him use his athleticism, get him in space.
Agreed.
You know, they got to put Ayuk in the slot. Why is he on the outside?
Yeah, I agree.
Don't understand they call it yesterday.
Well,
listen,
red zone
sorry,
Bonte.
Shesky, go ahead,
Bro,
Shesky.
red zone Bonte. I'm screaming boot, 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 boot. They don't go to it once.
Well, I got to say though, in the red zone, they just. There's so many little things that happen in the football game, especially on specific plays. I'm going to highlight the second down play in the red zone. All right, in the red zone. Bears goal score is 10-7. Or excuse me, it's 7-0 Niners.
Yeah.
All right, it's 2nd and 2 at the Bears 2-yard line. 2-yard line. They give the ball to Jeff Wilson Jr. He loses 2 yards.
Yeah.
But go back. Juwan Jennings is there at the end of the line of scrimmage. He's got to make his block. Brisker comes in, Jaquan Brisker, the strong safety, comes in untouched and stuffs Jeff Wilson Jr. You have to pay attention to details. Little things like that. Jeff Wilson should not have been stuffed for a 2-yard loss. Should have been walked into the end zone on that play, and you miss a block there. So situational football, execution.
That's a good point.
Jaquan Jennings has been in the system for years. He's got to execute there.
I think he just got a 2-year extension.
A 2-year extension. Execute. Make the block. And by the way, Jawan Jennings, I heard all training camp he was dropping passes, didn't look good. Well, damn it, he had 6 targets yesterday.
He looked good, actually, I thought,
He looked good yesterday.
On a team that needed playmakers, it felt like he was one of the few guys that made 2 tough catches.
But
contested.
this is what Trey in Virginia's talking about. This is what our last caller's talking about. Brandon Ayuk is out there. Yeah, move him around. But in a game like that, when you don't have George Kittle, how the hell did we walk out of Chicago with Brandon Ayuk having 2 targets and 2 targets for 40 yards?
Well, one of
2
them,
catches for 40 yards.
One of them got called back because of the OPI.
Yeah, and that was a terrible call.
It was a fraudulent call.
So 3 targets, Shasky, for Brandon Ayuk.
It's not enough.
Unacceptable. He's a first-round pick.
But
He's your former first-round pick.
I guess where I struggle with this is it's hard for me to lose my mind because of the elements. I feel like everything got thrown out the window, and I'm not sure how many times you need to throw in a rain game like that. Like, it felt like they had to throw at the end of the game when I don't think that was the game plan heading into it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I think the elements kind of throw all the normal criticisms out the window. And I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying because of the passing, the limitations in the pass game, because of that, it's hard for me to sit here and say he needs 8 targets in a game like that.
Yeah,
I don't think he does in a rain game.
But you know what? Debo got 8 targets, and he came up with 2 catches for 14 yards.
That's true.
2 catches, 14 yards on 8 targets.
With at least 1 drop.
All right? At least 1 drop. And we know about the fumble. We know about the fumble in the red zone. Brandon Ayuk looks special out there when he's running routes. I'm looking at him like, wow, this guy's big. He's long. He's athletic. On that drag route, that crossing route, he smoked number 22.
And that was a great throw.
It was a great throw. Kendall Vildor. They got some weird names on the Bears defense. Kendall gets burnt on the crossing route. Can I get Ayuk more involved, please? Jesus Christ. All right, let's go back out to the lines here. 888-957-9570. Let's go to Syracuse, New York. Adonis out in Syracuse on the roast. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I really enjoy listening to you guys. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
But my main issue of what I was seeing from the game was Aaron Banks. Almost every time that they try to do a drop back in terms of play action, and part of the reason why they didn't want to run it so much, it looked like, was whenever they drop back, Aaron Banks was almost never out of his stance half the time before the dude comes by and almost blows by him to get the tray. And it just seemed like when they tried to roll him out the pocket, they were coming from the backside, and they always had someone waiting home to make sure that he couldn't get the pass off.
Yeah, I think Banks had a rough game. The other guys that I didn't think Trent Williams or McGlinchey played well yesterday. It felt like to me they suffocated both tackles on their defensive line and pinched Trey inside the pocket.
Yep.
I thought he did a pretty good job of pocket movement, stepping up, moving left, moving right. Like, for a guy as raw as he is, that was the one area that I was actually encouraged with.
Yeah, no doubt. And the fact is, they didn't blitz.
I know.
How disrespectful is that?
Well,
you're going back to Santa Clara right now watching film, and you're the offensive lineman, and Chris Forster's the offensive line coach. And we know he came from Miami, but he's gotten past that. Listen, you go back there and watch that film and say, man, we got so much pressure on Trey Lance, and we didn't even blitz. And now Pete Carroll's going to see that film. And now, who's the Denver coach? And Nathaniel Hackett's going to see that film. And all of a sudden, you play the Rams and Sean McVay and Raheem Morrison saying, we don't even need to blitz against this team. We can go get to number 5 with our front 4. I thought that was the 49ers.
Well,
and the 49ers looked like the defense that needed a blitz, and the Bears sat back and dropped 7 all day long. So whether it's Aaron Banks, whether it's Brindle, whether it's Trent Williams, whether it's Mike McGlinchey and Burford, this is unacceptable. And I told you guys, offensive line can wreck a season. Everybody keeps talking about, the Bengals won the AFC Championship without an offensive line. Well, what happened on the way there? Joe Burrow got sacked 19 times, and he got nearly destroyed in the Super Bowl. We thought his legs snapped in half by the LA Rams in the second half. You need an offensive line. And how do you not protect your number 3 overall pick? It's roster construction here. Trey Lance is a young quarterback. The least I could do is protect a young man. I'd rather have a better offensive line and less playmakers than more playmakers without a bunch of dudes who can't block. Well, that's just, it is what it is.
Well, and yesterday watching the game, it didn't feel like you had enough playmakers. I mean, like, that's the reality. It didn't feel like it. Once Elijah Mitchell went down, it felt like there was no run game outside of Trey Lance. The other thing that's just the gut punch this morning, if you win this game, it's a team that you should beat, right?
Oh my gosh.
And you look at the rest of the division, Kansas City thumps up on Arizona, the Rams lose, you got Broncos tonight against Seattle. Like, you're sitting here and you're feeling a lot better about the Niners, no matter how they win yesterday, if they could have pulled out a win. And instead, you lose to a team that it feels like everyone else on the schedule would have beaten.
Dude, even Bear fans, Shasky, in the entire first half are saying, well, you guys should be beating us. We suck. This is for Bear fans. Bear fans. And as soon as Dante Pettis was wide open for 51 yards, Bear fans started feeling good. The Chicago Bears started feeling good. And all of a sudden, the 49ers looked like the inferior team on the field. That's a Bear. You can't lose to the Bears.
Yesterday they were.
Bears.
I mean, the reality is yesterday they got punked in the second half. Look, Bonte, it is what it is. Their quarterback outplayed your quarterback. Their coach outcoached your team. They were more disciplined. They played sounder, more fundamentally sound football. It's easy to say. The Niners lost yesterday to a team that played better than them. Period.
No doubt. Jerry Rice, 8:30 on the Morning Roast. Jerry Rice will join us to talk about the loss yesterday to Chicago, 19-10 at Soldier Field. Jerry Rice, 8:30 on the Morning Roast. That is Appointment Radio. Let's go to Rob in San Bruno. Rob, what's happening? You're on the roast.
What's going on, fellas? First off, I think Kyle Shanahan needs to throw away the Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins playbook. Look, man, when they put the lineups out and I seen Gray not in the game, I knew we became predictable. We have guys who can stretch the field. We even test their corners. We let them sit back and play coverage, which is crazy. You playing coverage on a rookie quarterback, which is crazy. But anyways, they didn't stretch the field. I think the defense knew what they was going to do. They came out, they ran all that Debo nonsense. Stop. We don't need to run that no more. Like, allow your playmakers to go out there and make plays. Warren Jennings made plays. Let's get Ayuk going. Ayuk and Lance been getting it going since the offseason. They worked together all season long. And Debo, you cry for all this money. He dropped 2 passes. He fumbled, and he wasn't that good to me. So for you to cry for all this money, you come out and play like that. I don't really like that. But to me, I think Kyle needs to understand. I'm gonna give him a pass on this because it was raining. But you gotta have that speed guy out there just to open it up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like the pass later.
Yeah.
When they went back to later in the game, they couldn't find no lanes because the Bears defense knew there's no burners out here. Everything is pinning in. So in my opinion, I think the coach last year seen that when you don't got no speed guy out there, you ain't got to throw it to him. Just have a threat out there. We didn't have that. So I feel like Kyle needs to understand that you don't have a Buick. You got a Benz now. Let's ride him like a Benz and allow him to make plays. I watched all these games yesterday. He was
throwing that thing down the field.
I know.
All these quarterbacks. And then one more thing. And I watched Justin Herbert. He had 5 turnovers. People were talking about Trey Lance. Trey Lance stopped it. Trey Lance battled out there.
Thank
he made
you.
some tough runs. He got hit too hard a couple of times. But watching him play and know it was that type of game. It is what like that Kyle said. It was that type of game. And for me, and for him to do all that while getting pressure, still moving around, making plays. He on 3rd and 15, he got a first down.
No doubt.
When last time a quarterback did that? So,
Josh Allen.
3rd and 13, yeah. Yeah, 3rd and 13. It was beautiful.
And
Thanks
Rob,
for the call, Rob.
Let me accentuate your point here. It's interesting because, look, I thought the Niners were going to smoke the Bears. Didn't know the conditions were going to be like that. And excuse or not, they should win the game, period. Like, there's no doubt about it. That being said, we all, as 49er fans, and people cover, we're going to be patient, It literally took one loss to the Bears this weekend for 49ers heads to explode. Jimmy G,
you know
Trey Lance, the head coach.
Hold on, Shasky. I give the callers credit this morning. I haven't heard one caller come in and say they should have played Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, you know that's
I've
a
heard
narrative.
a lot of support.
Last night on America,
but you know what?
NFL
That's the
on
casuals.
America, I know, but
Listen.
last night on NFL on America, Chris Sims, Florio, the first thing they said, well, you have a guy at quarterback who led you to the NFC Championship game last year, and Jimmy Garoppolo sitting on the sidelines. So you know it's going to be a national narrative.
No doubt. It's going to be a narrative all season long. But you know what? Credit to the callers this morning. They haven't come in here and said,
they're very smart.
Play number 10. They understand the football game. They know what they're watching. Anybody who watches said, "Oh, Jimmy would have won it." Trey Lance. I came away from rewatching that game. I came away rewatching that game and said, "Damn, the Niners have a franchise quarterback."
That's what I'm saying.
And to Rob's point, let Trey throw that thing down the sideline of Jawan Jennings. The throw over the linebacker to Ray McLeod. I've never seen Jimmy Garoppolo make that throw.
Dime.
A dime.
How about the Jennings throw on 3rd and 8 for 44
That's
yards over the top?
Down the left sideline.
It was a beauty, GB.
Down the left sideline. I mean, it was
and
beautiful.
The Ray play, like you referenced, is a gorgeous throw.
I mean, so I got no problems with Trey Lance, but credit to the callers. We're not doing the narrative radio thing. We're not doing that here on the roast. I'm sorry. We're not, this guy, the locker room dynamic, this and that. The players know. Jimmy's the backup, Trey's the starter. Wrap your rounds around Trey Lance, and let's go. Now, if they're 3-7 or 2-5, maybe it's a different conversation. But right now, after week 1, I don't think that's the topic. I don't think that's the topic at all.
They started 3-5 last year, and that's the other thing. Like, as we dismiss some certain narratives, they lost to Colt McCoy with Jimmy Garoppolo in the lineup last year at home, perfect conditions. All right,
Colt McCoy, and they lost to Carson Wentz
when
he was throwing to a bunch of practice squad wide receivers.
Exactly.
Excuse me, that was 2 years ago. That was Nick Mullins. My bad.
No, but they lost to Carson Wentz last year in Indianapolis in the rain at Levi's. They've lost a lot of rain games, but it's neither here nor there. The point that I'm getting at is that quarterbacks are going to have fluctuating play. I thought from what I saw, 3rd start from the kid, in the pocket, he showed a lot of moxie. And there's a lot to clean up. A lot to clean up. But I saw flashes.
The Niners were 6 of 12 on 3rd downs before he threw that pick to Eddie Jackson. That basically ended the game. But
that was a terrible read. There's no defending that one.
And he knew it right away. So, but again, you're running all these slants, and the middle of the field is congested. Nobody was going to be open on that play. Nobody was going to be open on that play. Maybe Trey needs to tuck it and run and try to get a first down, but that play was a disaster from the get-go. Nobody was open. All right, now it's time for the Boxer Gerson injury report.
It's time for the injury report.
That really hurt.
Brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years.
All right, not only is George Kittle hurt, and he didn't play yesterday in Chicago, Elijah Mitchell exited the game late in the first half with the knee injury and was quickly ruled out for the rest of the day. Shasky, baby, on the other side, I was trying to look for the injury when it happened. I don't know when it happened, but he was out, and you could tell the difference between Elijah Mitchell. You could see the difference between Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson Jr. Jeff Wilson Jr. just had no juice, so apparently Elijah Mitchell left the game, and he left the locker room afterwards with a huge brace on his knee. After the game, head coach Kyle Shanahan said that at first there was hope for Mitchell to re-enter the game before team doctors ruled him out. But he had a big-time brace on his knee after the game, and boy, this could be a devastating injury to the 49ers offense. The injury report brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. What's coming up on the game, sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. You know what we do Mondays after the game. We go guest-free. It's all about the callers. It's all about the roasters. It's all about the YouTube chat, Comcast, business text line. We want to hear from you on what went wrong in Chicago. And again, that is sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises.
It was a brutal loss for the Niners.
I'm disappointed about some of the silly mistakes we did to ourselves.
Deebo Samuel lines up in the backfield for the first shot. Gets tracked down. The ball comes out. On top of it.
Made too many mistakes. Just too many mistakes. A lot of stuff to clean up for sure for me.
On 3rd and 5, Lance gets intercepted by Eddie Joe.
We're reacting to Week 1 on the Bay Area sports station, 95.7 The Game.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like Square Pizza. That place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo-Hoo? The spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Oh, order up! You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
Ever since I got the new Galaxy Z Flip 4, I've been learning all these new tricks with my dog Finn. Like how to take the best selfies at the park. I just set my phone down, put it in flex mode, and capture hands-free pics from multiple angles.
Aww.
Or how to capture our training sessions for his followers. I simply wave my hand to start recording video. Good boy! Plus, the Z Flip 4 is compact and fits perfectly in my pocket.
Oh, wow. Visit Samsung.com today to get the new Galaxy Z Flip 4.
Are you ready for your palm reading, my dear?
Yeah, let's do this.
I sense that you crave something.
More reliable.
Right. You know you deserve better and want out of a relationship.
Yes, with my big name wireless carrier.
You're who now?
My big name wireless carrier. That's why I switched to Xfinity Mobile. Now I get unlimited with 5G for $30 per month on the most reliable 5G network.
Let's talk about your aura. It's so...
And get this. They can even save you hundreds a year on your wireless bill over T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon.
Wow, that's actually really impressive.
Yep, but you already knew that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I definitely saw this coming.
Start seeing savings today. Switch to the fastest mobile service, Xfinity Mobile. Now with the best price on 2 lines of unlimited, just $30 a line per month. Switch today. Xfinity Internet required. Price comparison for 2 unlimited lines under available 5G pricing plans of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds up to 20 gigabytes of usage per line. Most reliable based on root metrics. US report. Comcast analysis of mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data from Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Q2 2022.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
If you owe back taxes to the IRS, have unfiled returns, or are worried about an audit, the IRS is hiring 87,000 new agents to address these very issues. That means if you need to get your tax problems resolved, now is the time to get started. I'm tax attorney Robert Goldstein, and my firm specializes in helping individuals and small businesses resolve their tax problems. We work to stop IRS and state seizures. We may be able to settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar with an offer in compromise. We prepare your past due returns, even if you have no records, and represent you before the IRS and state in an audit. At the law offices of Robert Goldstein, the consultation is always free, and we have offices located throughout the Bay Area. To schedule your free consultation, call 1-888-TAX-EXIT. That's 888-TAXEXIT. 888-TAX-EXIT. And make us your last stop.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Alanis Morissette.
When it first started, I would have my nightly panic attacks, but then I started getting really curious about all the sensations. Like, I just really started looking at, okay, so chest is, I got really kind of granular in observing the details of what was really going on with the breath. It's just survival strategy. It's cortisol cooking nonstop. Chronic stress is trauma.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
How do you make the most of your land? Everyone has their way. The Nelsons depend on their John Deere Gator XUV 835R to get
from point A to point B with decoys and the dogs.
As much as we got going on, it's all about efficiency.
And if you ask the Mosers what they use their Gator XUV 590M for, they tell you.
The most fun we have on the Gator is just ripping around the property.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast.
Oh, yeah.
Featuring Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky.
And well, I'm about that action, boss.
Take it out! This is the morning roast on 95.7 The Game.
49ers have been good on third down today. 6 out of 12. On 3rd and 5, Lance gets intercepted by Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson back inside the 25.
Joe Davis on the call for Fox Sports. Moose and Joe Davis, good call from them at Soldier Field. Eddie Jackson, who's a damn good safety, in my opinion, out of Alabama, played the little robber position, kind of full Trey Lance, and he stepped up and picked that play off, and that was the end of the ball game as the Bears are up 13-10. At that point, they go on to score and go up 19-10, and the Niners dropped the on-one to start the 2022 campaign. How did Trey Lance look? I thought he looked okay. I don't think it was that bad until the monsoon hit in the fourth quarter, but the rain is just an excuse. We're not going to blame the weather here. Defensively, you're awful in the second half. Turnovers were a problem. Penalties were a bigger problem. So the 49ers dropped their first game of the season at Soldier Field. And oh, baby, what a show it's been with Joe Shasky, the Butcher. Good morning to everybody out there getting off the graveyard shift. Good morning to everybody at work. If you're on your way to work, drive safely out there in the Bay Area. And prayers to everybody. I didn't know, Shasky, real quick, I didn't know there was an earthquake that happened out there in the Bay Area. So hopefully everybody's okay.
Yeah, I didn't feel it. Didn't even know that.
There was an earthquake yesterday?
Yeah, you totally just... Yeah, well, the earthquake...
I saw something about Hayward or something, the earthquake or something. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw something about an earthquake. So it's minor one.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So I guess I missed that because I was furious after the 49ers committed the 4th most penalties in the Shanahan era. 12 penalties. Like yesterday's story, obviously the monsoon's going to get the television coverage in terms of how it looked. The self-inflicted wounds, the missed opportunities, and the inability to cash in when those opportunities presented themselves for this team on both sides of the ball. Very frustrating. And then the injuries. The Elijah Mitchell injury, Jimmy Ward not playing, George Kittle not playing.
It's huge.
I mean, look, this is going to be an all-year thing. And right now, I am not feeling good. I don't care what the weather is. I don't care what the circumstances are. You have to suffocate the Bears. And you allowed this team to hang around. And they outplayed you, outcoached you, and out-physicaled you in the second half. It's not even close.
All right, so I'm seeing on YouTube a little bit of an earthquake out there in the East Bay, so hopefully everybody's okay there. We know about earthquakes, man. We don't need a devastating earthquake. No. Hopefully everybody's okay, and everybody was able to be safe and sleep through it. It starts off, and look, when the rain came and I'm watching the clouds, and it was nasty. It was really nasty in the morning, Shasky, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, we're going to have a rain game with no George Kittle, who's a rain type of player. He plays in these bad weather games. He's physical. Okay, no Jimmy Ward. How will they start? Well, they get the 3 and out. and Trey Lance gets the ball, and he throws a 31-yard dart to Brandon Ayuk. And I'm like, whew, they're cooking early. The playbook looks great. Then Deebo Samuel fumbles, and it's like, that initial charge you get at the beginning of a football game, it just sucked the life out of a lot of Niner fans. Then you get the Hufanga interception after Hufanga was making play after play in the backfield. Hufanga, we haven't highlighted him enough because it is a loss.
He's been a stud.
Hufanga was amazing yesterday. Amazing. I love what I see from number 29. And look, on that play to the touchdown pass to St. Brown, Hufanga, I get why he was there in the center field and why he didn't commit to St. Brown. Because another guy, I think it was Mooney, could have been Mooney, could have been Pringle. Underneath, he was running wide open to the left. Yeah. So I was just like, damn, all right. He had nowhere to go. To me, that was more on Dre Greenlaw getting sucked with the fake and not paying attention. Dre Greenlaw was awful yesterday. I'm giving him an if I had to grade Dre Greenlaw, he'd get an F for yesterday's game. He was awful yesterday. I expect more from Dre Greenlaw. I expect a lot more from number 57. But the energy just got sucked out after those failed opportunities in the first half. Shasky, again, before I pass it to you, average field position in the first half. Niners 40-yard line, Bears 14-yard line, and you're only up 7-0. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, you look, it's going to come back. Like, when you win, the quarterback gets the praise. When you lose, we look at all the things that you didn't do. I think the situational awareness and taking a bad sack, some of the really bad throws behind the line of scrimmage and the short yardage stuff, the interception, those things didn't help him. I saw flashes from the kid, but the kid wasn't the bus driver yesterday, and they needed this guy to do more, and it's unfortunate because all offseason we said he doesn't really have to do a whole lot with this team because they've got a lot of weapons, and yet no one else seemed to really step up yesterday offensively to help burden some of that load. The bigger thing for me is the undisciplined play from Shanahan early on in the year. I want to really quickly rattle through this. 2017 home opener, you lose 23-3, 10 penalties. Okay, 2018, you lose 16-24. I don't know. 15 freaking of 33 for your quarterback with 4 turnovers, and the team commits 8 penalties.
Yeah. Real quick before you stop. Solomon Thomas commits the offsides, which basically sealed the game for Minnesota.
Yes, okay. 2019 week 1, 11 penalties. You end up winning against the Bucs because they turned the ball over 3 times. Week 1 in 2020, you lose, you go 5 penalties, take 3 sacks, and turn the ball over. Week 1 last year, 7 penalties for 79 yards. Do you get the trend I'm going at here? Yesterday, 12. Week ones in the Shanahan era, they look unbuttoned up. Like that is a trend now, B.
But you know what? It's a trend. That shouldn't be a trend.
I agree.
Not when you have a veteran team like this. I know you have some young players at key positions, but a lot of guys have been here under Shanahan. That's not that's I don't know what the deal is with that. But that basically lost you the game. That lost you the game. The face mask. We keep talking about the 4-play sequence because we talked last night and we both agree. The 4-play sequence that flipped this entire football game. And if anybody ever calls me saying momentum isn't real, I'm hanging up on you and I'm going to call you an idiot because momentum is very real. The 4-play sequence. 3rd and 4, they get the ball to David Montgomery. They run the ball. All right? Niners stuffed them. Bear fan Shasky, I kid you not. They're booing. What is this offense? What the hell? We can't throw forward. They were irate. And I'm laughing like, oh, this game's over. We're about to roll, get out of here with a win, have a nice steak dinner, and go on with our day. Drake Greenlaw inexplicably grabs a face mask and yanks it. What are you doing?
Well, there's 3 guys wrapping him up. Fred Warner, Al-Shaair, and Bosa. It looked like they had him stuffed. It was going to be a punt.
It was going to be a punt. Next play, Justin Fields. You know he's always going to throw one up. He's going to throw a couple up early in his career. Jashai Gibson. He's got a lot of interceptions.
The very next play.
Drops an interception. Boom. Drops it.
I don't expect him to make that play, but God, you needed it right there.
Hit you right in the numbers.
I know.
Hit you right in the numbers,
That's why he's a DB.
Jaquaski Tartt told us last week, hey, I dropped the interception, the momentum flipped. Well, 2 plays in a row. All right, so then Hufanga tries to flip the momentum back, and he stuffs Montgomery. I mean, just blows him up. Orders restored. 3rd and long. Bears haven't done anything. And what do you know? Dante Pettis is wide open for a 51-yard touchdown. And Drake Greenlaw again. I don't know if it's on Hufanga or Greenlaw. That's why Brian Baldinger's joining us tomorrow at 7:30 to break that down. Who leaves Pettis wide open? There wasn't a defender within 16 yards of him.
It looked like, again, my novice
I don't know.
They showed the replay. It looked like Greenlaw followed the running back as the running back went toward Justin Fields because he was scrambling back left toward the opposite sideline. And they just let him wide open. And Dante Pettis wide open. He walked in. It looked like some guys were in zone, some guys were in man. I don't know what the hell was going on that play. But I saw him wide open, and I was like, oh, my God. Are you kidding me? And it's 10-7, and all of a sudden, Soldier Field's rocking. They're blaring the beats. Bears fans are chirping. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a nightmare. It felt like we couldn't stop the run either. After the first couple of drives where Kinlaw looked fantastic and this defensive line looked suffocating, it felt like they got away from stuffing the run, and that really opened things up for the Bears.
No, it really did. Let's go back out to the lines, man. 888-957-9570. We have Jerry Rice joining us in about 18 minutes on the Morning Roast. 18 minutes on the Morning Roast. Jerry Rice, the GOAT, live from L.A. Let's go to Trey and Benicia. It's been on hold for a while. Haven't heard from Trey in a while. Then we'll get to everybody else. Trey, what's happening? Set the tone here for the 8 o'clock hour.
Man, Bronte and Sonny, man, good morning to you guys.
Shasky, come on, man.
Steiny will be talking Jimmy G at 12 o'clock.
They'll be talking locker room dynamics at 12 o'clock.
You know what, man?
Sweet.
Apologies to you, man. It's the first call of the year, man, for the season, man.
It's all good.
Man, you know, even good brothers make mistakes here.
No doubt. I make them every day.
Let's just call it for what it is. You know, Mother Nature, she took a drink of a pitcher of beer and she relieved herself because that rain yesterday was just terrible. And it's so funny, Bronte, me and my girl, we was debating about this yesterday because she was talking about you got to be prepared. I don't think you could be prepared for nothing like that. And I don't want to get on Trey for that because that weather, and I'll give credit to the Bears. They took advantage of it. They took advantage of the bad weather. And it helped them out because we all know the Niners are a better team than them. We know it. I just think the weather
had
a big major factor because you can't throw a heavy ball.
But you should still win the game.
You know what, Trey?
I agree.
But you know what, Trey?
But you should still win the game.
The first 3 quarters, weather wasn't a factor. Okay, the field was a little slick, but it wasn't a factor. Trey was throwing the ball down the field with zip. It wasn't like he was throwing lollipops. He was throwing it with velocity down the field.
The Croft miss, it felt like if he puts a little more air underneath it, it's a touchdown.
But again, he's throwing the Croft.
No, but you got to hit that play.
In my opinion,
I know, but you got to hit that play.
Kittle maybe runs under it, and he does have to hit the play.
You got to hit that.
It's a bad throw.
Guys are open, you got to hit them.
But how many times we're going to see Croft run that route?
But they run it's a Shanahan staple. The bootleg misdirection throwback to the other side of the field is a staple. And you got this guy so that he can hit those big-time plays.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, Morning Roast only going until 9 o'clock. That was a Friday special. Had a lot of guys out. We're going until 9 o'clock because, boy, that last hour, Shasky, we need more reps for that last hour. We were dying at 9 o'clock hour.
I felt like Elijah Mitchell in the second half. I had a brace on my knee.
It was rough.
Hey, they better hope his ACL is fine because if he's out for an extended period of time and in the interim, like watching how they use Debo in this game, I've been saying, I said this to you before the season even started, I'm going to continue to say it. You got to maximize the $25 million that you gave him a year in guarantees. I don't care if it's lining him up at running back and giving him I formation touches. You just get him the ball however you need to do so. I don't care where he lines up.
This is where Trey Sermon getting cut hurts. This is where JaMycal Hasty getting cut hurts. This is where, you know what? You got to have, like, Mark Willis going to trade into the changeover.
Is Sermon really going to do anything in that game yesterday?
Probably
I'm asking
not.
Out loud.
But this is why, when people hit me with the, you don't need a bell cow running back. Look at how many bell cow running backs have won his Super Bowls, blah, 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 blah. I do need a serviceable running back who can carry the ball 15 to 20 times a game and could be a threat in the passing game. When's the last time the Niners had a threat in the passing game at the running back position?
Raheem Mostert, when he would catch a swing pass and go 80 yards. And then the problem with Raheem is, again, another guy who's not able to carry the load and gets hurt.
So we'll see what's happening with Elijah Mitchell here. Debo Samuel... No separation of routes. Mr. Jones in Atlanta. Mr. Jones, what's happening? You're on the roast.
God, we are international today. What up?
We are. What's happening? Or nationwide.
You saw it. You thought you was going to get you a steak dinner. Wrong. It ain't happening. I told y'all before the season started. Y'all don't. I know it was a monsoon, but everybody played in that monsoon yesterday, right? Okay.
Nobody's making an excuse.
Go ahead, bro.
Nobody's making an excuse. We're not blaming weather. Nobody's blaming weather here.
Cool. Okay, the one guy I said that was going to make the throws, hey, we don't care. And what was funny was the dude that scored a touchdown on us also came from us, and it was like, probably bittersweet because Tedder scored the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, look, well, there goes another kick in the tank that, like you said, we let Hasty go. Now we don't have no running backs. It's going to be back on week 4. I'm in Atlanta. Y'all know this, right? Y'all owe me up an appearance on the show. So I'm coming up there. When we come to Atlanta, Jimmy will be starting.
Oh, God.
All right, hang on. Bye-bye. Tegan at Fairfield. What's happening, Tegan? What's happening? You're on the roast.
Yeah, how you doing there, fellas, man? Good morning.
What up, Tegan?
Yeah, man. So, like every other faithful fan out there, I watched that game, and, man, with a dropped jaw. You feel what I'm saying? I had such high hopes coming into the game yesterday, and then it's just like somebody just let all the wind out of my sails. You feel me? Like, defense was on point. I'm fine. I'm glad we got corners now because they were locking up yesterday. Hufunga, man, I'm going to go get his jersey, and I'm going to run around, start throwing the tee up, man, because he reminded me of, like, Ronnie Lott / Deshaun Golston stuff. To where
he did.
Man, he was just sitting and pinch nerves yesterday to everybody. Picks.
Yep.
He was in everybody's face, man. Look, defense always come out swinging for the Niners, man. We know that. We've been seeing that since last season. It's the lack of offense. Debo cannot do it all by himself, man. And then we keep getting these, you feel me? I mean, I love our running backs. I love who we choose and stuff like that. But since Mostert, like, we haven't had a healthy back to, like, stay there all season.
They've had a different leading rusher on this team every year of the Shanahan era.
Yeah.
A different leading rusher.
That's alarming to me, Shasky. That's alarming to me.
It's interesting. When it works, everybody praises it. But when you have a game like yesterday where they couldn't find a secondary guy to help offset the load, it's very glaring.
Just think of 2019. We went through Breida, Tevin Coleman, and then Raheem Mostert, who came on late.
Right.
And it was like, hey, all right, Mostert's great. And then the next year, Mostert gets hurt. He injures his ankle week 2 against the New York Jets, and he's not the same. And then we know last season, 3 plays in, he's got a torn ACL against Detroit after looking dynamic on those first 2 carries. I don't know what it is with the running back spot that Kyle Shanahan. I want a running back threat in the backfield in the pass game. They don't have a running back threat in the pass game anymore.
Well, they had Juszczyk lined up multiple times in the shotgun as the running back to the left of Trey Lance or the right, and he's supposed to be up there for blocking and obviously helping the protection because they couldn't block up front. But he's not a dynamic enough player in the open field. And he dropped a wide open pass.
We're going to get back to the calls in just a second because I agree with you, Shasky. I agree with you 100%. We're 11 minutes away from Jerry Rice. But why is this? Why do we have to do this?
What?
It's the same thing that happened when Kevin Durant was a Golden State Warriors. Either KD, Steph's team. Oh, Steph's not getting touches. We don't play the old Warriors way. Oh, KD's too ISO. Everybody was divided, right? This Jimmy Trey thing. There's a division with this fan base.
What do you mean?
There's some Niner fans who are happy that they lost because they're not playing number 10. Happy that they lost. The own team that you root for. How come we can't embrace Trey? We embrace Jimmy. I mean, I embrace Jimmy. Why can't we embrace these quarterbacks? A dude who wears a jersey of your favorite team. Nobody likes to embrace these. It's got to be a division. It's got to either be I'm a Trey guy or a Jimmy guy. It was like that with Monte and Steph. You're either a Monte guy or a Steph guy.
We're here.
Why do we do this stuff?
No, I don't know why we do it because we get an emotional attachment to individuals. I think that's one of it. But here's the thing I'll ask you because I'm seeing it on the text line. You guys are lame. You're being homers. Jimmy G wins this game just on experience. That's from the 510. I mean, if that's the case, then why didn't they beat Colt McCoy and the backup Arizona Cardinals last year at home? Why did they fall to 3-5 last year? Why did they lose in the rain at Baltimore? Why did they lose in the rain at home to Indianapolis? Why did they not score an offensive touchdown against one of the worst teams in the league that would end up getting the number 2 overall pick, the Washington football team, 9-0 in the rain where Jimmy had multiple turnovers? You can say that flippantly, but the data doesn't back it up. And so I don't understand where some of these Jimmy G homers cameras are coming from. And the reality is, whoever's under center, and I said this last year when I wrapped my arms around Jimmy G and he won that Week 18 game, I just want to win the Super Bowl with the Niners. And right now, if Shanahan says that Trey Lance gives us the best chance, then let's roll with it. And I think he's going to be a better player moving forward for experiences like yesterday. First year, and he has that game in game one. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we're already ready to throw him out with the bathwater.
And he played well yesterday. He played well. He played as well as Jimmy played. That was a Jimmy Garoppolo game.
Well, the playbook felt like a Jimmy Garoppolo playbook, and that's where I'm the most frustrated. I'd like to see him boot more and get out on the edges.
You know what? That's a great point. I don't remember seeing too many bootlegs in that game yesterday.
Well, they had the one on the Croft play, which was the design play. They always run that misdirection little tight end wheel where he blocks and then skirts across the line, but not much. The best throws from Trey came when he actually turned his back to the defense on play action and threw it downfield. But when they couldn't establish the run, they got away from that.
Yeah, I don't get the division between the fan base and this quarterback. But you know what? In a way, the front office, everybody involved with the 49ers, we kind of invited this. And we're trusting the culture of the 49ers to get through this. There's no doubt that narrative and that cloud of Jimmy. Trust me, Shasky, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting right behind the 49ers bench, and my eyes, every dead ball was kind of glued to number 10 to see what he was doing. Where is he standing? What is he doing? It's there. It's right in front of your face.
There was a late delay of game that they had where Shanahan's yelling at Trey Lance. At least that's what it looked like through the headset. But I was more mad at Trent Williams. Trent Williams I messed up. He full started. Elijah Mitchell full started. Multiple pre-snap infractions by veterans, not the quarterback.
Right. No doubt. Let's go to Dave in Fresno. Dave, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, shout out to the callers. Man, they are on fire today.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But, hey, I'm going to be quick. I know everybody's going to drink their coffee, they Red Bull, they fired us. I'm going to make 3 quick points. Bear with me. First one, Bonte, you're my dog. But, yeah, I agree. Yeah, you want to keep Jimmy, but I think the bigger issue is not because he's going to get hurt. I think the bigger issue, don't call those players for trade. That's point number one. Point number two, this is 2 years in a row. The Niners start week one with healthy scratches from the third-round pick. That's not good.
No.
What you
and last year, the second-round pick didn't play.
Yeah.
Right. And point number three, this Kyle Shanahan Atlanta Super Bowl has not left him. I don't know what it is with this guy. He does not adjust in the second half. You saw it in the Super Bowl with the Falcons against the Patriots. You saw it in our Super Bowl against the Chiefs, where he walked in the game yesterday.
Can I counter that?
You know what, though, Shasky? He's on point. There is something with Shanahan in these second halves. He gets very conservative, and the playbook becomes very vanilla. And the offense, which is his offense, he's the brainchild of this offense. How are they huddling up with 6-7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 9, and they're huddling, and the play clock is running down? All right, Shanahan, I don't know if it's on Shanahan, and I like Shanahan as a coach. I think he's the right guy for the 49ers. But there is something to him in the second halves where teams get back into football games, and he gets ultra-conservative.
But you never reference that when you talk about Raheem Mostert getting 8,000 touches in a row in the second half in the playoffs. We don't reference that when they put away the Minnesota Vikings in the game before that. We don't reference that in Week 18 last year when they adjusted at halftime and came out and dominated the Rams on the road.
They had
but I'm just saying, we cherry pick the losses, and when they lose, it's devastating. But he does have adjustments at the half. Like, to say that he never adjusts is not not realistic.
I didn't say that. I didn't say he never adjusts. Okay. But why don't they play a full game? They don't play full 60 minutes.
They're not the only team.
You reference the Rams game. They're down 17-0. How the hell are they down 17-0 in the biggest game of the season?
Because that's sports, and the other team gets paid too.
Oh, come on, man. Stop it.
You're not going to come out and look great.
Dude, Shanahan has been inconsistent at times with this team. He has. You could say 2019, the defense was leading the way. You can.
I mean, Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, who we both declare as Hall of Famers, sure bow. They came out in the second half against Cincinnati last year in the AFC Championship game and played the worst half of football they've played in 5 years.
But you don't see that often from them.
No,
you don't see that often from them.
I agree with that.
We see it a lot more with Shanahan coach teams. That's all we're saying. It is a little trend here. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying about Shanahan. Jerry Rice to go coming up. He's going to talk about the game yesterday. Niners lose 19-10 to the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. If you're on hold, stay on hold. We will get to you before the show is over. We will get to you. And that's what's coming up on the game. Sponsored by Chilton Auto Body.
Have you been in a car accident? Chilton Auto Body has 15 convenient Bay Area locations to help restore your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Chilton Auto Body is also actively hiring for all positions. For more details, head to ChiltonAutoBody.com, the Bay Area's leader in collision repair.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
O'Reilly. Improve fuel mileage with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage. Get Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner starting at $9.99 and earn 10 times O Rewards points on your purchase. Get the most out of every gallon. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop O'ReillyAuto.com today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is your time to cash in at Cache Creek Casino Resort. To rock and to roll. Over the hills and bluffs. Go all out or go all in. With 4 stars and rising stars. Now we do more than ever. So you can do as much or as little as you want. It's your time to cash in at Cache Creek Casino Resort.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Whether you need tech for the office, home, or school, Staples is your total tech solution.
A powerful PC that'll help me deliver the perfect presentation.
Staples has you covered.
Tech support to help get my new laptop up and running.
Staples has you covered with tech solutions, services, and accessories. And now save up to $260 on select PCs. Plus save 25% on Staples Total Support to protect your new or existing PC. Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 9/17, in-store only, limit 2 while supplies last.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like that place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo-Hoo, the spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Or up! You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
The gamer, the call maker, the experience chaser. What if you could be everything all at once? Galaxy Z Fold 4 is powered by the Snapdragon processor for world-class performance and lightning-fast speed to turbocharge your multitasking. How about an expansive edge-to-edge screen for immersive gaming, hands-free video calls with flex mode, and multi-window view to use up to 3 apps at the same time? With Galaxy Z Fold 4, do more with ease and make multitasking a breeze. Available now at Samsung.com.
Cooling off this week in Walnut Creek, today's high is 81.
Weather brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. Whether it's the news, the traffic, the weather, or your COVID-19 vaccinations, it's important to stay up to date.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Now, back to the morning roast with Vontae and Shasky.
If you're on hold, stay on hold. We'll get you after the great one, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Jerry Rice, who joins us now live from L.A. Jerry is brought to you by BART, celebrating 50 years of service. Get 50% off all published BART fares in September using Clipper. Jerry, good morning. Welcome back to the roast. Joe Shasky, the Butcher, Bonte Hill. We got our GOAT fuel on. Hold on, let me crack my GOAT fuel because I need a little bit after yesterday. First of all, Jerry, you're in L.A. What the hell is going on in La La Land right now?
Man, just doing Prime Video, man. Prime Video, and it's like the home for TNF football right now, and I'm looking forward to the watch party. It's going to be in LA. I get a chance to rub elbows with maybe 500 people or more, and it should be an exciting football game. Think about this: Chargers and Chiefs, man. Look what Mahomes, what he did to the Cardinals. Then what Herbert, what he did to the Raiders and stuff like that. But I like him as a quarterback, man.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. So, Shasky, go ahead. Get in here, Joe Shasky. I'm going to sip this GOAT fuel, energy drink, blueberry lemonade I'm sipping on. Blueberry lemonade. I'm in Chicago right now, Jerry. I got to recharge for the monsoon. Shasky's back in San Francisco ready to break everything after the Niners lost yesterday.
I'm drinking the watermelon fruit punch, and it's absolutely delicious, Jerry. Jerry, I saw you do a GOAT fuel video with Steve Young and Trey Lance, and so clearly you and Trey, know each other. How would you evaluate his game yesterday?
Well, I'm sure Trey, he would love to have that interception back, and he missed a couple throws. The one he overthrew the tight end, but I felt like he played okay. I feel like he did enough to win that football game, and you got to look at what happened with the Chicago Bears. I think they sort of like won that game the last 5 minutes. Left in that ball game.
Yeah. Did at any point, because we're seeing a lot of 49er fans, and quarterbacks, oh my God, Joe, Steve, Alex Kaepernick. People were asking for Jimmy Garoppolo and saying that maybe he wins that game. Did that cross your mind?
Hold up, man. This is the first game of the season, guys. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on now. I understand competition. Ain't nothing wrong with competition. And I think Trey, he has the maturity where he's going to deal with this. He knows that this is his team, and it's up to him to lose the quarterback position. So I think he's only going to get better. Look at some of the throws that he made to Brandon Ayuk and some of the other receivers, guys. So, we need to dial that back just a little bit. Trey, I think also you look at that scenario where it was a third down. I think we needed maybe 8 to 10 yards, and we ran a quarterback draw.
Yeah,
that's a phase of the game that we haven't had. So I know this guy, he got the composure. He's going to get better. He's just getting everybody back on the field. We got to get George Kittle back in the mix and all of that. Then, Trey had that interception. Then Debo had that fumble.
Yep.
You cannot afford to turn the ball over on the road.
No doubt.
It's going to end up costing you.
Yeah, you're spot on, Jerry. As we're talking to Jerry Rice on the Morning Roast, you know who he is, the greatest receiver of all time, numerous wide receiving records. He's probably the greatest football player to ever step on an NFL field. And we're also sipping goat fuel right now, the blueberry lemonade. I love this turbocharge that goat fuel's giving me right now, Jerry. But you're right about Trey. I thought he played solid. Talk about momentum, because there's a lot of people, these analytic nerds get on my nerves, Jerry, when they talk about momentum isn't real. Momentum isn't real. But when you see Debo fumble early like that, and then Hufanga gets a pick, and you can't capitalize on that, and the Niners' their average field position in that first half was at the 40-yard line in the first half and only had 7 points. Momentum is a fickle thing. It flips. Can you talk about momentum and what a turnover like that from Debo does to a team?
Well, you just got to know the urgency of it, and you got to come back and you got to say, hey, we're gonna punch this in. And I always had this clock in my head, and I sort of knew when I needed to make a play or something like that. It was important, and to keep that momentum going. And I think the players they're gonna have to do the same thing. They're gonna have to know when there's a big urgency to make something happen.
Greatest football player of all time, Jerry Rice, with us here on the Morning Roast. And Jerry, we're just recapping the Bears game yesterday. Jerry, when you see a team commit as many penalties in the way that the 49ers did early on in the year, what do you account that because of?
God, you know what, man? It could be a combination of things. It could be that the players are not paying attention to detail. It could be maybe the coaching, they're not on the players as hard. That was something that we couldn't do back in the day, because if Bill Walsh, if you made mistakes and, there was a lot of penalties and stuff like that, you were going to be on the next Greyhound bus out. So there was a big urgency to practice the right way and don't do anything to hurt your team, to hurt your team with a penalty or something like that could be costly.
Let me ask you, Jerry, Brandon Ayuk, I think he has the talent to be a great wide receiver in this league. He walked off the field yesterday with only 2 targets at 40 yards. What do you attribute that to? Is it the field? Is it the weather? Is it Trey Lance not seeing him? How does Brandon Ayuk walk off a football field with only 2 targets?
Well, guys, look, it's only one football to go around.
Right.
When you got so many weapons like that, it's like, it's like having your own little playground and stuff like that. But it's going to be up to Trey to, make the right decisions. So, there could be so many things to factor into that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they decided to take him away, after he made those big catches and all of that. But everybody got to be involved, and everybody have to be on the same page. And I think Trey has the ability, to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers. But it just got to happen.
Yeah, and when you see the playing field the way it was before the game and how the rain was coming down, obviously both teams played in the same settings. But as a former player, what did you think about the playing conditions, and how would that adjust how you or maybe Bill or whoever was calling plays call plays?
Well, I think in a scenario like that, it changes the whole game plan, because when you see rain like that, you think about running the ball. If you went into that game and you thought that the ball was going to be in the air the majority of the time, the second the rain, comes down, it changes that. So, with Mitchell, I'm hoping that, he's okay. He was running the ball pretty well yesterday, but, Chicago, they had to play it in the same conditions. So you still find a way to win no matter what. You don't let the elements determine if you're gonna win or lose.
How would you assess Deebo Samuel's game yesterday, Jerry?
I think he showed some flashes, but it's one of those things where I was one of those guys too. It's like when you have a fumble like that or something like that, because I can still go back to a playoff game against the Giants where I was off to the races and I fumbled the ball and I just felt like we never got the momentum back after turning that ball over. You know, you remember plays like that, but you got to let it go and you got to continue to get better. But you realize that, hey, look, when I have possession of that ball, I got to protect it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And how do you move forward from a loss like this? Because this is week one.
Get ready. It's man up and get ready for the next battle. The next battle is not going to be easy. So, you know, it's like you just know that, hey, look, we got a chance to win this football game. The next game coming up, we'll be 1-1, and we'll be right back on track again. You can't dwell, you know, about the loss. You just want to correct the mistake. And you want to have a good practice week. You want to be focused and get ready for the next team.
All right, Jerry. Well, you go have fun in L.A. We don't want to keep you up. We're sipping Gold Fuel right now to get us through this morning. We're devastated right
punch.
now. The Niner fans are devastated, but I think they wanted to hear from you. Look, they got to show up because Seattle's coming. It's a divisional game. We know how tough divisional games are. It does not get easier in the NFL.
Jerry?
So what now?
Are you going to be at that game? Because I saw you at your son's game over the weekend. Ronnie Lott were on the sidelines together. I seen Emmitt Smith out there.
Of course I'm going to be at that game.
Home opener, baby. Home opener.
Hey, I got to give
you know.
Lincoln Riley look good.
It is, man.
Yeah. What about USC? They look pretty good over the weekend.
You know what? Yeah, you know they're 2-0 right now. I think Lincoln Riley. I think the players are bought into what he's throwing out there, and they're playing. They're playing their butts off, and but it's only going to get harder, and they're going to have to stay focused.
Yeah. His son's on the team. That's why I referenced it right there. Jerry's son's playing for USC right now.
Right, yeah.
Thank you, Jerry, for joining
Emmitt
us.
Smith's son. You got another one over Emmitt Smith too. By the way,
you did.
Yeah. He's always telling me. My son is always telling me that, hey, Dad, I'm 6'3", I'm bigger, I'm faster, and I hear that all the time.
But he ain't better. Come on, you're the
he ain't
goat.
no Jerry though. He's not you.
I'm telling you, he's bigger and he's faster, and he's only going to get better. But it's hard keeping these guys' head level.
Jerry,
anything about all of these NILs and all of that stuff it's crazy.
Yeah.
Jerry, all you have to do is show him the back of your football card.
Yeah, exactly.
That would humble your son real quick.
Say,
all right,
there's this thing called YouTube. And go look at my highlights.
Go look at my 50-plus yard touchdowns on YouTube. That's about 7 minutes long. All right.
Hey guys, hey, one more thing, guys. Yeah. I'm doing Prime Video, which is important because I did this commercial with Deion Sanders and Barry Sanders.
Oh,
think about this, man. This is crazy because it's like you have to be a member of Prime Video, but you get deals, you get discounts, exclusive experiences, digital entertainment, all of that. And you get this Thursday, I'll be in LA for the Chargers and Chiefs game, and I'm basically going to be there as for the watch party. But these fans get a chance to get up and close. They get a chance to get inside my head, as I watch the football game and stuff like that. So you can go to Amazon.com /Prime, and you get a 30-day trial. And
I like that.
It's the best time to join right now, buddy, okay?
No doubt. And that's a big-time game Thursday night between the Chargers and the Chiefs. The AFC West shootout is on the horizon. Jerry, thanks so much, man. Safe travels back to the Bay Area
Jerry.
When you leave L.A.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Okay.
All right, Jerry was brought to you by BART. Celebrating 50 years of service. Get 50% off all published BART fares in September using Clipper.
Listening to Jerry Rice, you asked him about Debo's performance. He referenced a fumble that he had in a New York Giant playoff game that he believes zapped all the momentum and caused them, obviously there were other factors, caused them to lose. He was very disappointed with the Debo fumble.
No doubt. We all were. I'm telling you, Shasky, and momentum is I keep going back to that M word, but a game can change in the first quarter, second
100%.
quarter, third quarter, fourth
100%.
quarter. You get off to a 7-0 lead. The Bears know, oh, man, we got to start passing the ball. Oh, man, they just hit us in the mouth. All of a sudden, Trey's feeling good. All of a sudden, Debo's feeling good. Niner fans, I'm telling you, Shasky, at kickoff, Niner fans were humming inside of Soldier Field. I walked in here to 670 to score in Chicago, right? And the first thing they told me, they was like, man, Niner fans travel deep, man. You guys were making noise. You guys were respectful, but you guys were making noise. And I didn't even talk about Wrigley Field on Saturday with all the Giants fans and Niner fans. You had all the jerseys out there. And when Debo fumbled, it just made me go back to the off season, and it made me go back to training camp and everything you said about training camp, not getting separation. And I just said, man, this bet not be about. The Niners need Debo Samuel to be the Debo Samuel of 2021, and that was just a rough start to the football game.
Before the game even started, when they showed the field, all Cam Inman, JD, 95.7 The Game was tweeting it out. I'm like, oh God, the field is way worse than I anticipated. I mean, it looked like a slip and slide. It looked horrific. And then they're saying, oh, they squeegeed a lot of it out. And then like 3 plays in, I'm thinking, Jesus, look, guys can't even get their footing. This is going to be really ugly. And I assumed it to be ugly, but it looked uglier. But when I looked at the inactives and I saw that TDP wasn't suiting up, I'm like, why? This is a run game. What are we doing? Why are we not running right here?
Well, it also made me think, damn, you don't play TDP. Well, man, maybe you could have drafted me a center.
I know.
Maybe you could have got me a guard. And that's the thing. Lincoln Tomlinson, and I know I went at it with Kyle Batson about it. He's like, if you franchise Lincoln Tomlinson, he becomes a top 5 paid offensive lineman. Well, I don't give a damn. What I care about is protect number 5, all right? Protect number 5. And then number 2, the Alex Mack situation. Did they know he was going to retire?
I don't know.
Because that lingered into July, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Because you don't draft a center. And the interior offensive line,
as bad as center looks right now, I mean, look, it's hard for me to ignore. You took Javon Kinlaw before Justin Jefferson was taken off the board.
Oh, my gosh.
Justin Jefferson looks like the best playmaker in the game right now.
He looks amazing.
I mean, Devontae, I think, is the number 1 wide receiver, but Justin Jefferson's right there with him.
Justin Jefferson looked amazing yesterday. Amazing.
But you took Ayuk and Kinlaw, and it's like, maybe you took, Justin Jefferson and took a lineman or something like that. You take Aaron Banks, and he looks terrible. Terrible. Some of their decisions in the draft are as well as who to not pay. It's very frustrating. And the other thing is, when you pay the quarterback rookie salary, you expect to be able to spread the money out to the rest of the roster. Yet it feels like, because of the Jimmy thing lingering as long as it did, even though people say there's no correlation, the Laken Tomlinson move is one that still doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. He should have been a 1-year guy. Franchise tag him. If somebody trades for him, great, you get compensation back. If not, keep him in tow.
And you always talk about loyalty with the 49ers. Laken Tomlinson was a damn good 49er.
He started so many games in a row.
It's one of the most underrated trades they've made.
Yeah,
they traded him, get him from Detroit, a former first-round pick, and he became a very serviceable left guard. So they're going to miss Laken Tomlinson a lot, and we saw it yesterday. And the Chicago Bears didn't even blitz.
No.
That's the worst thing about it. They brought 4, dropped 7, and said, we're going to play 7 dudes in coverage, snuff your passing game, and we're going to get to the quarterback with our front 4.
Yeah.
That's a man. I'm looking forward to the schedule, and I'm thinking, boy, this may be a long one for this offensive line. And you can't tell me that, hey, Shanahan can scheme around the offensive line. Well, it didn't work yesterday.
Yeah.
It didn't work yesterday.
And getting back to the quarterback, there were about 3 or 4 throws where I'm like, wow, Jimmy just can't do that. And then there were about 4 or 5 throws underneath that I'm like, Jimmy probably hits those. Like, if I'm just being honest.
That never crossed my mind yesterday, Saskia. I'm not even going to lie to you.
There was a lot of short ones that were pretty ugly.
I'm not going to lie to you. There were some short ones that were ugly. But, I'm looking at Jimmy on the sideline. I'm thinking, Trey's the guy for this team. Trey's the guy. Now let's run the plays and make Trey look explosive. Let's do something here.
Oh my God.
The playbook got really vanilla here, so let's go. What happened?
We're going to hit up these text lines, right? We're going to hit up the phone line. My dad texted me in. It's funny. I'm watching that Viking game, and I said, man, who's this Jefferson guy destroying the Green Bay Packers? This is my dad now. And then I check. Oh, no, he's not available on fantasy. He's actually on my fantasy team. Great job, Dad. Way to be tapped in on fantasy football. And he won it all a couple years ago.
Yeah. I tell you how it speaks volumes about your league. It just you just basically expose your league for being fraudulent.
Let's go out to Jay in San Jose.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, real quick before we get to Jay in San Jose. Yeah, I know you want to switch the subject quick. I just honestly, I want to do this before we sign off today.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody out here in Chicago who made the trip to Chicago to watch the Giants and Niners game. Because we went to Sluggers after the game. And let me tell you, Shasky, so many people showed so much love to the morning roast. It really humbled me. It flattered me. It got me a bit emotional. Everybody's saying, man, we wake up with you guys. We don't even live in the Bay Area. We have the Odyssey app. We wake up with you. After the game yesterday, I'm running into people in the monsoon. We're walking from Soldier Field. We're getting dumped on. And people are like, hey, Bonte, we'll be tapped into you and Shasky tomorrow at 6 a.m. We cannot wait. So I just want to show the appreciation that I have for everybody out there who listens to us, man. It really was humbling, Shasky.
Absolutely.
It was flattering.
Right now we've got 500 people watching us live on YouTube. It's been in and out above 500 all day, and I just the support that we get for this station is unbelievable. And
it is.
You can go search out any content. If you missed the Jerry Rice interview, that'll be on YouTube as well, or the Odyssey app. Without you guys, we don't have a station.
No doubt about that. Let's go to Jay in San Jose. Jay, what's happening?
Well, what's going on, fellas? Great show this morning.
Thank you.
Look. I know everybody had a lot of great points. I'll say this about Trey. There was more plays that Trey made, I think, that Jimmy wouldn't be able to make. And at the end of the day, I think that's what you're looking for, right?
Agreed.
Is if Jimmy was in there, there's scrambles that Trey made on third, second down that Jimmy's getting sacked, and I know that for a fact. So I look at it as Trey made a lot of plays that Jimmy wouldn't have made, and there's the overthrow. You know, I've seen Jimmy make that overthrow plenty of times. And another factor I think that no one's looking at, I'm not saying any excuse for Shanahan, but you've lost 2 offensive assistants in back-to-back years. Mike McDonald's the head coach for a reason. Prefers the offensive coach.
Hey, they look good in Miami.
Well, and Jay, Baldy's been all over that. He said Mike McDaniel's a big loss for the 49ers. And you just wonder how big of a loss is it? Baldy's been all over that one. That's a good call.
Absolutely. So, I mean, those are facts, right? It's not me making excuses. Those are things that have to be factored in. And Shanahan is going to take a game, maybe 2 games, to have somebody else in his ear to kind of figure out what direction he really wants to go.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a really good call. Let's go out to Rick in Stockton. Rick, step right up.
Hey. Everybody played in the rain, man. I played in the rain, man. I don't want to hear nothing about the rain.
Nope.
I don't want to hear nothing about Jimmy. Like the last caller said, he would have been sacked at least 6 or 7 times, man. He did his thing. He did. He looked promising. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not mad at Trey. I'm mad at these 5th-round undrafted linebackers that only can tackle, but they can't tackle. They can't cover because they got burnt in coverage, and Hufanga had to, same way like Jimmy Ward did last year in the Green Bay game. He had to look underneath to save these linebackers that can't cover and get beat deep. That's the reason why we lost, because the linebackers can't cover, and they not tackling. I liked it when they were tackling and couldn't cover, but now they can't cover and they can't tackle because they're not talented. They're getting drafted in the 5th and undrafted. I don't really like that, man. And I don't know who's there to help Shanahan see what the defenses are trying to do to him. I'm tired of our offense being basically trash. Like, they get the possessions over and over, but they can't make nothing out of the possessions, like y'all said.
No doubt, Rick. Hey, thanks for the call, Rick. Look, Antonio, real quick, 30 seconds in, we got the flex. Antonio, what's happening? End the show, baby. Strong. End the show strong, Antonio.
Man, we freaking lost to that terrible team, man. This felt like the Warriors losing to the Orlando Magic or something, man, because we got Super Bowl aspirations and stuff, man. You know, Lance, that overthrow, you know, that could have been a touchdown, and then he threw 2 picks. You know, Drake, we got off the field, and then, Greenlaw, all his stupid penalties. It don't make no damn sense, man. I'm just disgusted with this. And, yeah, we can say it's one game and all, but at the same time, man, it doesn't matter if Lance is in his 2nd year, 3rd year, whatever. It counts as a loss. It's 0-1. It's not 0 and, well, your quarterback is young, you know. It counts in the loss column, and I hate losses like this because I thought we were going to win by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of people
Everyone
did, Antonio.
Me included.
A lot of people
I got
did.
a lot of egg on my face. Let's flex.
Bear fans, maybe the softest fan base in all of sports. Those jokers didn't say a word to me for the first 2.5 quarters. The first 2.5 quarters, we're the Bears. We suck. We're not going to be any good. You guys should beat it. It was la. Can you please sit down, please? And I'm like, no, I'm not sitting down. My team's on the field. They're flying around the football, hitting people. I'm fired up. It's week 1. Those jokers started talking a lot of mess as soon as they got little points on the board. They got a first down. Oh, yeah, we finally got a first down. Woohoo. Bear fans, you're soft. I was very disappointed in the Monsters of the Midway. Their fan base is soft. So soft. They started talking. Now they got these little smirks like, you guys lost to us. They know they're weak, Shasky. That's what's so frustrating. Bears fans know the Bears are weak.
The Flex of the Show, presented by Xfinity Flex, the 4K streaming TV box with voice remote and Peacock Premium, free with Xfinity.